Sir, just what are we facing here?
A relic of the old world. Ready your men, Captain. We will only get one chance.
Are you a model?
And
No.
remember, when
You're
you hear the
model.
whispers, call for help. Do not attack.
When you hear the whispers, what do you think he was on about?
It's Dorman, right?
Yeah?
Then Dorman. Shut your damn mouth.
Yeah, Dorman.
Why do I always get stuck with these rookies?
Hey, the kid's got a mean cleave. Give him
He
a
just
chance.
wanted to build up the excitement this way.
Hey, thank you, BitSlap, for the 100 bits, buddy. Thanks, man. Can't wait for this game. It's gonna be really cool, I think. Alright, alright. Starting, damn, dude. Starting off strong.
Sullen!
That's 100% gonna be a skill in the game. 100%. How easy will this be for a new player? Probably easy to start.
A mean cleave,
Easier
eh,
than PoE
Captain?
1.
Rookie can't even lift his own sword. Captain Oren? Captain? It's here. Rain! Send the signal!
What the fuck?
Rain!
I love it. You know, just the right amount of cursing. Not afraid to put curse words into the game. Perfect.
On my back!
Every time you say what the
Rain
fuck, it's
Come on!
there.
I'm ready! I'm ready!
You're not ready.
It's a man!
No, it's not.
Oh, damn. That boy can teleport.
Run!
Cool. Well, you don't have to tell me twice. Come on, Ricky, run. Here I try to talk reason with the thing. But don't put your sword out, just talk to it. Maybe it's friendly. It hasn't attacked you yet.
Captain!
Bro, he killed his own captain. Bro, did he like swap positions with the captain? Like, is that his ability? Like, just swap with someone randomly?
Stop. Humanity is
Is that like a chaos orb currency?
On your feet, lad.
Sir, the captain,
You'll be fine. Here.
Maybe a Val orb.
What is it?
Get the body.
Stop. Mortal. It can still be contained. You don't know what you have unleashed.
Your kind no longer control this world. We cannot destroy your body, it's true. But you will watch as we destroy everything you have built. Bind him! Feed. Grow, my child. I'll make sure you can eat your fill.
Damn, dude. You're like a form of corruption. Yo, tell me that's not an intro to a game. That is badass. That just gets me into the mood just to start playing, man. That's like a true like 9 out of 10. What a good, like, it just gives you the right amount of backstory to like get on your character. Oh, I love it.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Now, Path of Exile 2 is going into early access in around 2 weeks on December the 6th. But even though it's early access, this isn't just some small taste. The game is huge. In this live stream, we're going to be introducing everything you can expect. So without further ado, let's roll the gameplay trailer.
Existence is a thing of beauty, precious, but
This is
impermanent.
in-game footage.
Life and
Slick,
death
thanks as well, man.
are mortal enemies, and yet bound to one another. The continuation
Bro. Dude, there's something about Path of Exile. And like, if you ever take the time to look at Path of Exile 1 and just look at the grotesque stuff in the world, it's something else. Like, it's easy to miss it and just like blast through the game, but that is freaky, dude. Tell me that's not freaky, chat.
The continuation of life must be protected at all costs. Some have said, my methods are brutal. To this, I say, there can be no salvation without sacrifice.
Oh man, this is a work of art. Did you guys hear how they transitioned from the scream to the music? Man, whoever did this trailer is amazing. Good. Listen to this transition from the scream to the music.
There can be no salvation without
Look at the screen.
sacrifice.
That's so good. Oh, that looks so badass. It's so crisp, it is. Did you guys see the skill tree? We'll get to it later, I guess. Top tier sound design, absolutely. This is so much better than Diablo 4. It's not even close.
We are faced with the end, and I will do what I must.
Okay. This is the map. It looks so clean. That looks so clean.
Those who obsess with death, let them soon be acquainted with it.
Now, as you just saw, even in early access, Path of Exile 2 is a big game. It's actually been 5 years since we announced PoE 2, and over that time we've revealed a lot.
That's 5 years since they announced it, which means they were working on it even before that.
But it's been in bits and pieces. It's pretty hard to keep track of it all, so today we're going to do a full rundown of all the content that will be available at the start of early access. Classes, character progression systems, and for the first time, a full overview of the endgame. This is going to be a big one, so get comfortable. For 20 years, Rayclast has been free from any sources of corruption, but the Count of Ogham, tempted by promises of power, intends to harness it once more. The dead are rising, monsters are mutating, and madness is spreading.
Jesus.
Under the dark influence of corruption, the Count doles out sentences of death to any who would question him.
Yo! Yo, this is character selection. So you're the little guy who escapes. Bro, that's genius. So wait, when you're choosing your class, you're like, I want this class, and that's the one where the rope breaks. That's so sick. Because in PoE 1, you just choose a class, right? You just walk forward. This is so cool. So that's how the campaign starts. Bro, that's so cool.
And this is where you find yourself at the start of PoE 2. Explore the dark forests of Ogham, traverse the barren plains of the Vasteri Desert, and delve into the jungle ruins of Exile, an ancient Vaal city. There are challenging monsters, hidden runes, lost camps and treasures, roaming merchants, and of course, unique bosses.
They have like over 100 plus bosses that are all unique. That's gonna be nuts.
Two areas are the same. It falls to you to track down the seed of corruption, the source of all this devastation. On the way, you'll face fearsome monsters, meet strange characters, forge unlikely bonds, and uncover lost civilizations. But first, you'll need to pick a class.
Classes. No, this is important.
Now, early access will initially have 6 classes available. Let's have a look at them. The Monk is a fast and furious melee fighter. He dashes in and out of combat, and his mechanics involve building up and keeping momentum. Like all classes in PoE 2, you'll want to use a wide variety of skills to mix and match different combos.
Dude, the combat looks so clean. It looks really high res. It looks a little bit grainy, but I like the graininess of it as well. You don't know about that? You don't think it looks clean? Really?
To get new skills, you will first need to find skill gems. Using a skill gem will open the gem cutting menu, which shows all the active skills available in PoE 2.
This is very new. So you can choose whatever, you don't have to find the actual skills themselves. You can choose any skill you want to start off with.
You can choose an existing skill to level up, or choose to engrave a new one. Since this is a level 7 skill gem, even if you pick a new skill, it will immediately be level 7, so there's no harm in trying out something new.
It has both WASD and it has mouse click. You can choose whichever one you want.
The Monk primarily uses the quarterstaff. There are 3 schools of martial arts: lightning, ice, and wind. But don't think you have to stick to just one. The best combos are going to involve mixing elements of all 3. Let's try Killing Palm. Like many Monk skills, this can be used to...
So Killing Palm, it dashes to an enemy and strikes them with an unarmed attack, culling enemies if their life is low. Alright.
Be used to quickly take advantage of a specific situation. If there's an enemy on low life, you can use Killing Palm to dash to them and kill them instantly.
Wait, you can still see enemy HP bars, right? I'm not crazy here, am I? Because I'm not seeing any HP bars.
This will provide a power charge. Then we can use a different skill to consume that power charge for a much more devastating attack. The Monk also has powerful combo skills. Tempest Bell, for example, is a skill that places a giant resonating bell. Hitting the bell causes it to ring, dealing damage to all enemies around it. You can also do...
The only scary thing is, do you guys see how much HP he loses, like, during combat? Like, monsters hit really hard. And I plan to play 100% hardcore when this comes out. Like, I'm going to play fully hardcore when it's out. And I'm worried I'm just going to get one shot.
You can also do things like freeze or shock the bell, which will add elemental damage to the strikes.
That was not a good example, but he took a lot of damage at first.
The Monk also has a variety of abilities to empower his staff. If an enemy is close to being stunned, you can use Staggering Palm to punch them down. After that, any attack you do will shoot out wind projectiles. There are 21 active skills for quarterstaves, so this just scratches the surface of the options that you have. By endgame,
dude, the freeze looks so damn good when you like shatter them into little ice blocks.
you'll be dashing from pack to pack,
look at that. Look how good this looks.
spewing projectiles and obliterating screens of enemies with huge combo attacks. Now, if you like a style of melee that's a little slower but hits much harder, then the Warrior is for you.
Bro, I think I'm going Warrior. I'm gonna be honest, if I'm playing hardcore, I think I'm going Warrior. Usually in MMOs, I like to play Rangers and like, you know, fight from afar, control everything, but Warriors look so fun.
He pounds the ground with big chunky attacks and can shrug off the hits of small enemies with large amounts of armor.
Things.
Even though the mace slams are slow, you never lose control. Longer
And that's
attacks
really
can be
good. You can
retargeted
control
as
what
you
direction
go.
you go.
And if you find
That's a
yourself
big deal.
committed to a long attack, you can dodge roll out of it at any time. Among the skill option for maces, you will find a variety of slams, fire attacks, war cries, and shield skills.
Hey, Neko.
Here, I'm going to slam the ground, rending it apart with lines of fire.
Okay.
Any slam skill will then cause these fissures to erupt with lava. I can even
I'm not
run
a
through
fan
them
of
with a
this.
skill like Stampede to do huge amounts of damage.
It looks cool, but I'm not a fan.
The warrior can also use war cries, which can empower your next skill. Seismic Cry, for example, will double any slams from your next attack.
Okay.
The Stampede counts as a slam, so I can double that for even more craziness. If you want to go a little faster and be a little more defensive, equip a shield. In PoE 2, you can raise your shield at any time to block all damage from the front, even spells.
That's insane. So, shields have 100% damage reduction. That is so nuts.
While holding up your shield, your stun meter will build as you take damage, so be careful. If it reaches 100%, your stance will break and you will be vulnerable.
Now the question is, are there bosses that one-shot your shield?
Some enemies also have unblockable attacks, which are indicated by this red flash.
Okay, red
If you
flash,
see one of
can't
these coming, make sure to dodge out of the way.
Interesting.
Using a shield also gives you access to shield skills, like Shield Charge, which allows you to charge towards enemies and stun them. While charging, you're also blocking the whole time, so you have full damage immunity from the front.
That's so busted. So now you shield charge, you're immune to damage when you're shield charging. That's actually kind of broken, I think.
The warrior also has access to totems. Some totems have built-in abilities, like Shockwave Totem, which can be placed to stun nearby enemies and trigger aftershocks like those from the earthquake. But you can also get Ancestral Warrior Totem.
Raise a totem that uses a socketed mace skill. So totems, you have to play maces. Limited to one totem. Duration is only 8 seconds. That's kind of slow. Interesting. Uses its own weapon, dealing physical base damage.
Which allow you to use any slam skill in your repertoire. This is a meta skill, which means that it's a skill you can put other skills into. I can take a slam like Sunder and socket it into my Ancestral Warrior Totem. Now when I summon him, he'll sit there and slam the monsters from a distance. There are 20 active skills for maces, so there's a lot more to try out. But by endgame, you're going to be dropping hammers from the sky, leaping fearlessly into combat, and separating the very earth you stand on.
Okay.
Time for some ranged attacks.
I think there's a decent chance I try doing, because I'm going to play hardcore when this launches. I think there's a decent chance I attempt a totem shield warrior. The idea behind that is I can play safe with totems. So I put totems and they fight for me. And I can have my shield out at all times if I want to, right? So I'm even more safe with that. That seems like a very decent way to learn the game while also playing hardcore in the first try. Will I play? Yeah, I'm going to be playing on the 6th. I'll stream it as well. We'll all start together. 100%. So yeah, that's my plan right now. But I might change that.
The Ranger is primarily about the bow, but we wanted to make sure that she feels agile as well.
I love Rangers
In
as well,
PoE
though.
2, you can shoot while moving. Combined with all the skills the Ranger has that allow you to jump around, you will have a lot of mobility in combat.
It's not out yet.
Bow skills have a variety of lightning, poison, ice, and physical attacks.
Okay.
Lightning attacks bounce around between targets. You can also stick lightning arrows in the ground which explode when hit by the bouncers, or electrocute enemies to take them out of combat.
I don't know. Is it me, or does Ranger just not look as fun as the Warrior? It doesn't have that oomph behind the arrows, you know? It doesn't have the impact. It's less, you feel like you're shooting a water gun. These spells are just not doing anything. I mean, that's kind of cool. The
Ice
electrify's
attacks
kind of
allow you
cool.
to slow and
I
freeze
guess the
enemies to
freeze
keep
is
them
kind
away
of
from
cool
you.
as well.
Using poison, not only can you slowly damage your enemies from afar, but also grow some interesting plants.
But I'm not sold. I feel like if I was here with the Warrior, I'd just do one big slam with my shield and mace, and everything just blows up.
With 21 bow skills and all the mobility and combo tools the Ranger has, you can take advantage of every situation. By endgame, you'll be creating hundreds of arrows, be they falling from the sky, bouncing around between enemies, or spraying out of tornadoes.
Merc makes Ranger look kind of
You
slow.
might have noticed in the bottom left of the screen that the flask slots look a little different.
Yeah, only 2 flasks.
In PoE 2, you have one dedicated life flask slot and one mana flask slot. Flasks gain charges as you kill enemies, and typically allow you to heal 6 or 7 times if they're full.
Okay.
But that's not the only thing you can use charges for. Charms are a new item type that will automatically defend you from various
Used when you start bleeding, grants immunity to bleed. Interesting.
debuffs or damage types. Having trouble with getting frozen? Equip a
freeze is
thawing
obligatory.
charm. When it's fully charged, it will make you immune to freeze for 3 seconds if you get frozen. To recharge them, just kill more monsters. You can gain more slots for charms by upgrading your belt.
Okay.
The mercenary wields a crossbow that can be loaded with different ammo types, offering versatility, power, and mobility.
Now, mercenary looks like a funner ranger. Like, it seems like he blows things up. It's like almost a shotgun. Not so much a bow.
All classes in Path of Exile 2 can be controlled with WASD, which makes this class play exactly like a shooter. For the crossbow, you will find...
And this must feel so good with WASD, right? You're moving and you can aim in any direction. That's gotta be so good.
skills that work like shotguns, sniper rifles, assault rifles, and even grenade launchers. But not only that, there are a wide variety of more interesting elemental ammos too.
Okay.
It's very fast to switch between ammo types, as long as you already have them loaded, which makes the mercenary able to
Ooh, that
combo
looks so
abilities
good.
together for devastating effect. Use Glacial Bolt to create walls of ice to separate enemies, then switch to fragmentation rounds to explode the ice, dealing massive AoE damage. If I come across an armored enemy, I could use armor-piercing rounds to break their armor, and then high-velocity rounds to take them down.
I'm a little worried that, like, if you don't have enough DPS, you'll get, like, cornered as this guy, and then you just die.
Or perhaps I could fire a gas grenade to poison enemies before detonating the cloud with an explosive shot for massive damage.
Poison into? Ooh, nice.
If you want to call in some suppressing fire, you can summon artillery ballistas. These have a minimum range, so you'll want to prepare your position carefully before
Artillery
moving in.
ballista is interesting.
There are 22 active skills for crossbows.
Okay.
By endgame, you'll be calling destruction down from the sky as you litter the battlefield with grenades and pepper your enemies with your automatic shotgun.
So it's interesting that I'm seeing a lot of these skills are dependent on a certain weapon. So they're not really going the Path of Exile 1 approach where most skills can be used with a lot of different weapons, but it's like, okay, there's so many mace skills, there's so many crossbow skills, etc.
If you're looking to take a backseat and let your minions do the work, then the Witch should be your choice. She can call forth hordes of undead monsters to fight for her, while casting powerful chaos spells that debilitate her enemies.
This looks really strong.
Occult skills are some of the most varied in the game, with
talk about it later?
skeletons,
Okay.
noxious spells, specialty minions, curses, and sacrificial magic. Before we talk about minions, we'll have to talk about a new resource in Path of Exile 2 called Spirit. This is a Spirit Gem, which allows you to pick from a range of persistent skills. All classes have a variety of these skills which can add some very interesting effects.
All classes have a variety of skills. So are these skills class specific though?
Like Arctic
That doesn't seem very Path of Exile-like.
Armor, which does cold damage to enemies that hit you, or Raging
No?
Spirits,
Okay.
which summon fiery skulls each time you
It's
cast
just
a fire
recommended
spell.
then. Okay.
For the Witch, though, we'll want to be using our Spirit to create permanent minions. These minions will be revived automatically when they die, so you don't
Okay.
have to worry about resummoning them all the time.
That's very useful.
Here, I'm using the skill screen to allocate which minions I would like in my horde. You can see the spirit cost of each one. Skeletal warriors are cheap, but
Oh, so spirits under where my webcam is. Down here there's like a little spirit bar.
weak. Useful for tanking damage and distracting enemies. But I want more heavy hitters in my army, so I'm going to
Replacement for mana
unsummon some
reservation,
warriors
yeah.
and instead add skeletal arsonists.
Okay.
Permanent minions come with special active abilities called command skills. You can order these guys to detonate your own minions for even more damage and area of effect. If you want a bigger army, you'll need a scepter. This new
+1 to all minion skills. Okay. Grants level skeleton warrior. So the scepter itself grants you a skill, and it gives you 16% increased spirit.
weapon type is imbued with even more spirit,
That's a really
allowing you
good
to
weapon.
summon even more friends. And if you want an even bigger army than that, you can take advantage of corpses to summon true hordes of minions. But what can a witch do while her army is at work? Well, she has a range of chaos spells to spread disease amongst your enemies, or bone skills to impale them. Or, you know, you could curse them to make them weaker so your horde can take them down.
Okay. Cool.
There are 25 active occult skills. By the endgame, you'll be the leader of a fearsome army
just
of the
the
dead,
necromancer,
consuming
basically.
everything in its path. The sorceress bends the elements to her will, using them to unleash devastation on her foes.
Wait, is this the same class as the last one? Wasn't that sorceress? No, that was Witch. That was Witch. This is Sorceress. Okay, okay. All right.
This classic spellcaster weaves a flurry of elemental magic from afar.
Yeah.
The elemental skills have everything you might expect and more. Fireballs.
This looks really good. It looks really, really good. Very good AoE as
Icy
well.
explosions, lightning storms. You
Like
get
this
the
fire
idea.
ability looks amazing.
Each spell is unique and has
First of all, it has triple
many
projectile.
different
It
ways
hits,
to
then it
build and combo
explodes.
with others, even between different elements. For example, Flame Wall conjures a burning line that not only damages enemies, but also empowers all
Oh, look how good that looks. You get lightning and fire together.
projectiles that pass through it. If you place a wall and fire lightning sparks through it, they'll gain extra fire damage. It's a good idea to take advantage of the ability to automatically swap weapons when you use certain skills.
Okay.
Having a special staff with bonuses to fire skills and another with bonuses to lightning skills can really power up a combo like this.
Interesting.
The Sorceress can also take advantage of powerful trigger gems. For example, you could grab the Cast can also take advantage of power.
Cast on Ignite. While active, gains energy when you ignite enemies and triggers socket spells when reaching maximum energy. Okay, so it's not really cast on Ignite. It's cast on after a certain amount of ignites. Energy when you ignite, triggers all socketed spells and loses all energy. All right. 10 maximum energy per... Okay, whatever.
Powerful trigger gems. For example, you could grab the Cast on Ignite gem and use it with Firestorm.
Yeah, but you want to put more stuff in Firestorm. You want to put like 3, 4, 5 different abilities in it.
As you ignite enemies, a counter will go up in the top left corner. When it's full, a Firestorm will automatically be cast at the enemy that was
I'm
ignited.
not sold.
There are
You gotta
25
charge
active
it, right?
elemental skills. By endgame, you'll be firing off projectiles left and right as you rain down elemental
You have to kind of
storms on your
charge it.
foes.
I'm not sold.
Now, those are the characters that will be available at the start of early access, but we will be adding 6 more character classes with just as many skills and options as these.
Bro, 6 more, dude. These 6 already look really good. And that's not even counting Ascendancies. 6 more after this for release.
There's a lot more to come. There's one more important thing to mention about skills. Even though we talk about them as belong to each class, in reality there are no restrictions. You can use all these skills on any class so long as you have the attributes.
Yeah, but what about any weapon?
For example, a Poison Ranger might want to try out using Occult Curses to increase her poison damage. Or a Monk might want to trigger Elemental Ice Walls to use with his Glacial Cascade combo. The possibilities for cross-class combos are practically unlimited.
So are we not actually playing PoE? You mean today? And we're playing it on the 6th when it comes out.
We're looking forward to what kind of things you guys might find. Now, Path of Exile is a game known for build customization, and we haven't even scratched the surface of what is possible yet.
Not today.
So let's talk about support gems.
It's out in 2 weeks.
Path of Exile 2 has a system of support gems that can be combined with your active skills to dramatically change the way they work. If you find a support gem, then right-clicking it will open up this screen.
Okay.
Here you will find a variety of recommended support gems for each of your skills that you can pick between. For example, this is a multiple projectiles support gem and can be used to add multiple projectiles to any skill. Normally, when you fire a grenade, it'll look like this. But if we add multiple projectiles, then you get 3 of them.
That's so much better.
Once you have the gem, you can also freely move it between any of the skills on your character. If you want to have a multi-shot sniper rifle instead, then simply move the gem over to your high-velocity round skill. Generally speaking, if it sounds like a support gem should work with a skill, then it will work. So it's a good idea to experiment. Note that you can only have one of each support gem on your character, so you'll want to think carefully about which supports can be used best with each skill for maximum damage.
That's super interesting. You can only have one support per character. So, like, if I have burning damage support for Righteous Fire, I can't use that on a Flame Trap. So you have to be very careful what supports you use where. You only get one time to use it. Like, you can't put multiple projectiles in everything. Only one skill.
Now, if you want to stick to the recommendations, you should have a perfectly good time. But if you want to experiment a bit more, then uncheck that recommended button and you can see the full list of supports that will work with your skill. There are hundreds of support gems to choose from, and even we don't know the results of all the possible ways these can interact. Each skill can have up to 5 supports socketed into it, and if you're clever, you can come up with some pretty interesting ideas.
Okay.
Now, all of this is just scratching the surface. You can make frost vortexes, break people's armor, make minions explode, make skills repeat, make enemies set each other on fire, cull enemies, or pin them to the ground.
This is going to be very interesting because, so in Path of Exile 1, DPS is king. So usually what you do in Path of Exile 1 is you just take one skill, you 6-link it, you expand it and make that one skill do as much damage as possible, and then you just use that one skill everywhere, right? But Path of Exile 2 doesn't seem to work that way because you're going to have multiple skills, right? And they're all going to be for their own unique situations. Which means that you will probably have many skills that are very niche for their scenario. For example, and because you can't repeat your support gems in all of them, it might be the case where I have one skill that's only for AoE clearing. So I might like give it, if there's a support gem or support skill that gives like minions explode on death, I'll add it there. It'll have less damage, but I might have another spell that just does maximum AoE damage. So I start with a maximum AoE damage. It drops minions down to like 20% HP. I drop my skill with explosion, explodes everything, right? It's going to be more like a combo skill game. At least that's what it appears right now to be. And then you'll probably have your single target skill, yada yada, on and on. So the game looks very different from PoE 1, at least from a gameplay perspective.
Supports let you drastically change the behavior of your skills and create your own unique build, or at least follow someone's OP build guide. So, speaking of builds, let's talk about one of the most iconic Path of Exile systems, the passive skill tree. Yes, it's...
Yeah, Chad, this is your skill tree. This is what gets a lot of people not to play Path of Exile, by the way. This is, people see this one time like, yeah, I'm out of here. People are like, yeah, I'm not playing this game. And other people are like, holy shit, I want to play this game. So, for a lot of people, this is a make it or break it kind of scenario. The tree.
It's huge. There are over 1,500 nodes on there.
Guys, it's only 1,500 nodes that you got to learn what they do. Chat, it's not that bad. It's only 1,500. Just, can you guys not read? You just got to hover over and read what they all do. Is it bigger? It's bigger. Bro, WTF. Look, guys, it's not that hard. When you start Path of Exile, you only have two options, okay? You read, what does this one do? What does this one do? I like this one better. You click this. Then you have two options. Do I like this one or this one? I like this one. Then you have two options. Then you have one option, one option. Now you have three options. It's not like you got to read the whole tree to understand where you're going to go next. You go one at a time. Every time you level up, choose one. Then, when you get to a certain point, you can think to yourself, hey, what does that other route give me? You can respec. Respecking is not that bad. It's not as hard as you think. You don't have to know what this does because you'll most likely never go in this direction. Now, somebody might eventually make a build that goes in this direction. You're going to see their build and say, holy crap, that's really cool. But it's not as hard as you guys think.
Now, a lot of people open the tree and can get a little intimidated at first.
True.
But try not to be scared. There are lots of options, but at its core, it's pretty simple. Each level, you get 1 point to put into the tree. Each class starts at a different location, but they all share the same tree. Around your section of the tree, you'll find relevant bonuses for your character.
Yeah.
You should be safe in the knowledge that there aren't many wrong choices here. Almost all the starting nodes will be useful for your character in some way. But if you do happen to make a choice you regret, you'll be able to respec any nodes you've taken by spending a little bit of gold.
That's awesome. I love that respec is easy early on. So if this scales similar to how it scales in Path of Exile 1, gold respec is going to be expensive once you're like level 90 plus, but early on is going to be cheap. So in Path of Exile 1, you could not experiment with builds. You had very few limited respec points you get from the campaign, and regret orbs take a while to find. I think this is a good change.
Now, the tree is generally divided up into clusters which have similar themes. In each cluster, you will find small nodes that give simple bonuses like increased damage, but the real power comes from notables. Notables normally have much more interesting bonuses, and they tend to care a lot more about how your build works and what skills you're using. For example, in the mercenary area of the tree, this one gives a 25% chance for crossbow skills to not consume a bolt. And here's one that gives grenades a chance to blow up a second time. This one gives a chance for projectiles to rebound off terrain, as well as giving you some pierce chance to make that more likely.
I never liked chance to do something much. I wanted to either do it or not do it.
Note that even though this is in the mercenary section, this would work with projectiles from all classes, so there are often reasons to go to different areas of the tree. In order to get between these clusters, you will generally have to allocate nodes in the attribute highways. Attribute nodes allow you to pick which attribute you would like to use.
This is such a nice quality of life change. So often, I would be playing something that needs like dexterity, especially if I'm playing for example Righteous Fire, and you just need dexterity for faster attacks. And it's like, or for swift affliction, it's like, oh God, where do I find dexterity nodes? And then I gotta like unspec and go to those really, oh man, it's so tilting. Being able to choose what attribute you want from the attribute points is insanely nice. It's so good. Or like having to craft 30 dexterity on my gloves or something like that. Oh, what a pain in the ass. This is such a nice addition. What class am I thinking to play? I'm going to start off hardcore right away. My first character is going to be hardcore. I'm going to keep playing hardcore. I'm a hardcore enjoyer, and I don't mind dying early, but listen, I'm calling it here first. I'm going to beat the campaign without any deaths. 0 deaths, hardcore blind, okay? Well, not necessarily, maybe I'm going to look at other streamers when they fight bosses, but generally speaking, I'm going to do a 0 death run my first try, chat. Hardcore Path of Exile 2. And how do I plan to do that? By playing safe. How do I play safe? I'm considering right now warrior totems. So first of all, big shield, 100% chance to block, right? And throw totems out there in front of me. So I drop totems, I pull up the shield. And that's it. Perfectly safe gameplay style.
So it's very easy to get points for any attribute that your gear might need. You can change which attribute these nodes give you for half price at the respec vendor.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to notables, you will also find even larger passives called
Chaos Inoculation. Maximum life becomes 1 immune to chaos damage. We all know what this does. This can be busted, but not necessarily busted.
Keystones. Keystones have both an upside and a downside.
So generally speaking, you get a stack evasion, energy shield. This is for ES builds.
And often require changing your entire build to design around them. A great example is Giant's Blood, which allows you to wield 2-hand weapons in a single hand.
You can wield 2-handed axes, maces, and swords in one hand. Double attribute requirement. Oh, God. Are you going to do the Ascendancy that can run 2-handed with a shield? You mean this? Bro, that's badass. But let me call it right now. If you pick this up, I think you never run a 2-handed with a shield. I think you always want to run double 2-handed in that case. Because you're only getting 50% of the benefit by running this with a shield, right? You want to dual wield twice, in my mind. I feel like you don't go for Giant's Blood unless you're going to be dual wielding 2-handers.
But doubles the attribute requirements of them. You can use a 2-hand mace with a shield or even dual wield them.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you always dual wield here. And swap the shield for defense. True, actually. Good point.
Well, how about Mind Over Matter?
All damage taken from mana before. Wait. They changed Mind Over Matter to 100%. It's now 100%. So you can't die until your mana pool is 0. So wait, what if you do Mind Over Matter and Chaos Inoculation? Because say you don't scale your HP at all. Isn't that busted? Now there's almost no downside to Chaos Inoculation because you convert everything to mana. Anyway, if you're hard scaling your mana. That's kind of nuts. Also, Mind Over Matter plus Eldritch Battery. Yeah, that's true. Clarity doesn't reserve mana anymore. Interesting. So just basically Vitality. Well, that's actually so cool. This might actually be busted. I should maybe consider going a Mind Over Matter build. It might be very tanky.
Which makes all damage go to your mana pool first before your life pool, but you lose 50% of your mana regen. Skills like these can be tough to build around, but if you're...
Okay, this is Pain Attunement. It's the same as before, right? Wait, more critical damage bonus. Okay, never mind. Never mind, it's different. What is damage bonus? That means 30% more damage.
Up for the challenge, they can be very rewarding. As we showed you earlier on the Sorceress, you can swap between weapon sets on the fly as you use certain skills. Okay. One of the new features in Path of Exile 2's passive
Weapon set 1
tree is that you can choose to have your passive tree change as you switch between weapon sets to take advantage of specific bonuses on the tree. For the Sorceress, you might want to change between fire and lightning specialization.
Interesting.
Or you could switch between 1-hand and a 2-hand setup in order to be able to block boss attacks while following up with heavy hits from your bigger mace.
So now you actually can do that. You can go for the shield and dual wield double 2-hander for the attack. That's so sick.
Or perhaps you could have a full curse setup on your witch
Wow.
to debuff enemies before switching to a chaos degen build for maximum damage. If you want to stick with just one weapon set, you can just use these specialization points as bonus points to invest however you like.
Okay, so you can just have bonus points, basically. Got it.
But creative players will find plenty of opportunities with this system.
Interesting.
You can get weapon specialization points throughout the campaign from optional bosses and quests.
So these are just special points that only work for specialization. I get it. Okay, makes sense. But wait, here's the question though. So I saw them use all.
If you want to stick
weapon
with just
set
one weapon set, you can just use.
He has 12 points to put in. Can't you use all 12 points in the tree?
These specialization points as bonus points to invest however you like. But
like, what happens if I use all 12 points in a straight line and then continue from there? And then I swap weapons. Or I'm on weapon set 1. Do these not count from weapon set 2? That's kind of weird.
the creative players will find plenty of opportunities with this system.
What do you do with these points?
You can get weapon specialization points throughout the campaign from optional bosses and quests. For example, if I manage to defeat the Crowbell, I'll get a weapon specialization book. There are lots of other
I will stream it on early access 100%.
permanent boosts available from the campaign too.
100%.
On the map, you can see icons that indicate the many optional encounters you can
Plus 30 spirit for killing the King of the Mist.
find. Some of them have permanent character boosts, and others have powerful items.
These are
If you're
obligatory
having
gear.
trouble getting past a boss, it might be a good idea to explore and see what you can find.
By the way, playing hardcore is actually really, really scary because from my understanding, once you enter a boss fight, you can't get out of it. If you like Alt F4, the game pauses, and when you come back in, it resumes where you paused. So there's no portals to get out of boss rooms either. You fight the boss and either you win or you die. So playing hardcore, if we walk into a boss we can't beat, our character is just dead. There is no more hotkey quit, Alt F4, none of that. It's real hardcore. No more logout macros either.
For example, if you defeat Blackjaw the Remnant,
Dude, did you see how much damage he just dealt? He's full HP, look.
for example, if you defeat
Bro. He has energy shield, full HP. That's a lot of damage.
Blackjaw the Remnant, you'll gain a permanent increase to fire resistance. One of the most important finds are spirit bonuses. You can find the first one here in the canopy in Act 1. Defeat the boss in this area
boss
to
is hitting
acquire
really
a
hard.
permanent addition of spirit. The permanent buffs you gain from spirit are very powerful, and
Hardcore on launch is dumb, just my 2 cents. Well, your 2 cents are dumb. Let me explain to you. First of all, if you enjoy going hardcore and dying early, if you're having fun, why is it dumb? I'll have fun my own way, brother. If it's fun for me, it's fun for me. Right? What do I gain playing a less fun gameplay? Like, for me, softcore is kind of boring because I just keep throwing my face at content until I beat it. So why would I play something that's more boring for me just because I progress faster? I'll play whatever is most fun. Now, if I'm not having fun on hardcore, if it's too hard and I'm not enjoying myself, then I'll play softcore. If I think it's not a fun experience, but that's a different reason, right?
every class will find a use for them, so make sure you hunt down these upgrades. There's one in each act.
There's no
And we
rush
haven't
to get
even
the
talked
enemy.
about the most important element of character progression, items. That's why we're all here, right?
When Path of Exile first came out, back when you used to have to beat every campaign in normal, cruel, and merciless, so you had to do like the first 3 acts 3 times each. When I first played that, do you know how many characters died before I ever made it to merciless? I probably had like 40 deaths. I just kept going again and again and again and again. You know why? Because it was fun. I just enjoyed myself. I remember my first time ever getting to merciless. I do. I was so excited I got into merciless difficulty. I'm like, yes! So you start on the beach, it's merciless, and I got one shot by a zombie on the beach. I'm not even joking here. I think the zombie had, it had a special league mechanic. I don't know which league mechanic it was, but it scales with physical damage. And zombies are extremely slow hitting with very high base physical damage, and the zombie one-shot my character on the beach when my first ever time hitting Merciless. I'll never forget it. I was so happy I hit Merciless for my first time. I can finally try the hardest content, and I got one tap by a zombie. Yeah. So those are experiences I remember fondly. How long will it take Raptor to get to endgame? First try. I'm not dying.
Items in Path of Exile can be broken down into 4 rarity groups: normal, magic, rare, and unique.
Okay.
One of the things you're going to want to do as you play through the
Dude, these look so good. That's Regal. I'm guessing that's Chaos. I'm not sure.
campaign is upgrade the items you find, and you can do that with
it's Exalted.
currency
I
items.
bet. That's the transmutation. That's
An orb of
thing.
transmutation will allow
Grenade skills. So this is really interesting. So the base weapon types have a very unique properties.
you to upgrade a normal item to a magic item with 1
Augmentation.
mod.
What's
You
up,
can then
Gemma?
apply an orb of augmentation to add a 2nd mod, then use a regal orb to add a 3rd mod, and upgrade it to a rare. Finally, you can use some exalted orbs to add more mods to your rare to a total of 6 mods.
Yo, this guy pogged out. Look at him. What the frick? He got double elemental roll. Then he got a elemental damage with attack skills very high roll. Then he got a 21% critical bonus damage roll. Then he got a +1 to all projectile skills roll. You know what happens when I do this shit? I get literally nothing, bro. I hit nothing. Look at this. So lucky. Yep.
One of the things we think is really important is to make these options available to use as you play. All the items that add mods are much more common than they were in Path of Exile 1,
I'm
so
gonna be
that you
honest,
can use
though,
them throughout your...
They need to introduce loot filters ASAP. That Exalted Orb was not that pog. I want to hear, you know the sound effect from Exalteds? Ding. Yeah, they need to introduce that ASAP. I want loot filters day 1, man.
your campaign playthrough. We want you to find things on the ground that can be crafted into upgrades much more frequently. As well as making the drop rates on these items much more common, you can also get them by disenchanting unwanted gear at the magic item vendor.
What? Wait, so you no longer sell gear, you now disenchant gear for full orbs? Wait, so you hover over this disenchants for a regal orb. Holy crap. So is like crafting gonna be doable now for everybody and no longer just endgame? Are you just gonna have a ton of different orbs to play with? Because that's insane. Oh, it's a shard. Okay. All right. So you need 20 shards. All right. Never mind. I'm like, holy, every piece of gear you find on the floor is a regal.
If you disenchant magic items, you can build up to an orb of transmutation. And by disenchanting rares, you can build up to regal orbs.
Okay.
Another important area of crafting items in PoE 2 is sockets.
How does sockets work?
Some items you find will have sockets that can have Ezomite runes placed in them that add more mods to the item.
Wait, Ezomite runes that add more mods?
If I insert this glacial rune into my helmet, it will give extra cold resistance.
Glacial rune, martial weapons adds damage, armor, 12 cold res. But wait, aren't sockets used for skill gems as well? So is it both? Is it either you put a skill gem or you put another suffix? Is that how it works? I thought sockets were for gems. Oh, skill gems no longer are put in sockets at all? So my understanding was sockets are, you just can't link skill gems, but I thought you still needed sockets to put in gems. So this is just for buffing the item more. Okay.
This is a great way to solve problems that you have with your build, like resistances or damage. If you find socketed items that you don't have a use for, you can take them to the salvage bench in town to work towards
What do you mean? Okay.
an artificer's orb. This will allow you to
Add a socket to a martial. Oh, wow. That must be so easy to get as well, though, because it costs you nothing to disenchant it, to salvage it. So you can just add sockets for free.
sockets to your existing items.
So then it's super easy to socket your items, unless socketed items are rare, right? But I doubt they're that rare.
Body armors and two-hand weapons can have up to 2 sockets, while the rest of your armor and one-hand weapons can only have 1 socket. You can also salvage items with quality to create items like armor scraps or whetstones.
Okay. Have I bought any supporter packs, and if so, which one? Not yet, because there's no reason to buy it yet. Like, the prices are not going to go up or down. I'll buy it like the day before. I haven't made my choice yet. I'll probably go for the $30 one, the cheapest one, but I might go for a higher one. So my logic is this. I'll analyze how much money I expect to spend on Path of Exile 2. And from that decision, I'll just buy the supporter pack that's equivalent to that much money. I don't think I'm spending $480 on Path of Exile 2. I don't think so. Maybe I'll spend $100 though, down the line. Then I might as well get the free stuff. I don't know. That's how I look at it.
These will allow you to increase the quality of your items for an up to 20% boost.
Check out the hideout.
If you don't
Is it the hideout that moves?
want to disenchant or salvage your items, you can
Yeah, that's why, because every pack has the equivalent amount of cash on the side. So if you buy the $100 starter pack, you get $100 worth of currency anyway. So it's just free stuff. So because of that, I'll buy whatever I think I'm going to end up spending in the next year or two playing the game.
You can always sell them for gold. Gold can be used to buy items from vendors.
I missed this part.
20% boost. If you don't want to disenchant or salvage your items, you can always sell them for gold. Gold can be used to buy items from vendors, and
Dude, every single one of these grants a spell. That's super interesting.
we've tried to do a lot to make sure that the items they have for sale are actually useful. Every time you level up, they get more stock, so make sure to check back often. Other vendors offer a gamble. Pay a flat amount of gold and you'll get a random item of a specific type. This could be a great way to improve your gear, if you're lucky. Gold is also used to respec your passive.
If you're buying in Brazilian reals, the prices are super good. $30 pack equals 80 rice. No. No way. Wait, a $30 pack is 80 rice? What? Because 80 rice is like $13. That's $13. Wait, is it almost a third of the price? Yo, I'm buying before they remove it. I'm just gonna buy the $480 one. Yeah, I'm buying after this. They might change it.
Passive skills.
Bro, the thing is, if I start downloading Path of Exile update right now, it might crash the stream because sometimes downloading on Steam crashes my streams.
Take advantage of the system to experiment with your tree and rework it as required.
That's insane.
The other thing you might want to use gold for is the currency exchange. This allows you to exchange currency items with other players on an open market, in exchange for a small gold fee. Now, all items in Path of Exile are freely tradable. We never bind anything to your character, except gold. Now, most
30 divided by 13 equals 2.3. 480 divided by 2.3 equals... The $480 pack in Brazil sells for $208. If it's at 1-to-1 conversion. Open and tell me the prices. Yeah, tell me the prices.
gear in Path of Exile 2 is randomly generated, but there's another type that isn't. Uniques. They are especially rare, each with a handcrafted set of unusual
Gamble Sprint. Okay, evasion, dexterity, lightning. Gain up to 40% increased movement speed at random when hit until hit again.
mods which
Wait,
can
these exist,
dramatically
right?
change
I've
a
seen these, I
character's
think, in
build.
PoE 1.
They're not just better rare items, they can do
Or
much
they new to PoE 2. But I've seen these before somewhere.
stranger things that can fundamentally change your character. Corpse Wade will make any corpses you run through explode into clouds of poison. The Sands of Silk is a body armor that changes your dodge roll into a blink, morphing you into sand as you teleport past your foes.
It's pretty cool.
And of course, some uniques are just pure hits of dopamine, like Quill Rain, which just turns.
So that blink actually might be useful. The reason it might be useful... Ok, conheço seu nick do tudo video de Malchior Johnson. Wait, who is that? Oh, Legions, you got it.
Turns your bow attacks into.
Wait, it's even cheaper? Bro, chat. The $480 pack is $174 in Brazil. $174. That's insane. Wait, do you still get the picture book and the hoodie and all that in Brazil? Did they ship it to you? Or did they like remove stuff because of like international shipping? You pay for shipping. Oh. How much is shipping? Wait, how much is shipping, chat? Brazil shipping is insane, by the way.
Full auto by doubling your attack speed. Each unique is something that you can build your character around. We try to make sure that most unique items have a potential use at endgame.
Oh my. Whoever drew this knows exactly what dudes like to play in video games. Chat, tell me that's not badass. Look at this absolute Chad of a... I can't even find the words to describe it. I want that.
Even if you find them early on. And as you can see, every single unique item comes with custom art to match.
Okay.
The last character progression system that you can do during the campaign is Ascension. Starting in Act 2, you will come across Ascension Trials, tests that you must complete to unlock your Ascension class. We'll explain these trials soon, but first let's take a look at what Ascending can do for your character.
Okay.
Each class has access to 3 Ascendancy classes, but at the start of Early Access, only 2 per class will be available. Ascendancy classes are unique to each character class.
All right, so not only do we have 12 Ascendancies, right? 12 Ascendancies. When the game is out, it's going to be 36 Ascendancies? Is that right? 3, and there's going to be 6 more classes coming out, right? 36. So it's going to triple this. That's crazy.
So choose wisely. They can drastically affect how you build your character.
That's crazy. 36. How many Ascendancies does PoE have? PoE 1. Isn't it 12? You looked at the upgraded prices. Prices are a bit higher. Oh, upgrade prices. You're banned. Tams! Ban Legion right now. You looked at the upgrade prices. What's wrong with you, dude? God damn it.
As a sorceress, you could become a storm.
It's 1,276 Brazilian reals. It's 219. Damn it.
Weaver, a master of the elements. Tempest Caller causes elemental storms to be summoned each time you do a critical hit with a...
Trigger Elemental Storm on critical hit with spells. I mean, I don't know what Elemental Storm does and how it scales, so it's hard to say if this is good.
With Strike twice, you can stack 2 copies of Shock for more damage, and go...
That's busted. That's broken. That's so strong. Even duration doesn't really matter as long as you have enough, like, cast or attack speed.
Going deeper into the tree, you can make all your damage types apply Shock.
Okay.
Make a Shock build from any skill. Alternatively, you could become a Chronomancer and command time itself. She literally has the ability to stop time with Time Freeze.
Wait, that's insane. That's so good for bossing. Because if there are dangerous abilities that bosses have that are kind of sketchy to dodge, and you time freeze... So for example, if it's something like you got to dodge some really weird stuff on the floor, and you feel like you're not going to dodge time freeze. Oh, bosses only get slowed? Oh, that's sad. Because this seems broken to me.
Not only that, but she has many other time manipulation abilities. Using Temporal Rift, she can teleport back to a previous location, resetting her life and mana back to what it was. Or with Time Snap, she can reset all her cooldowns and cast all her spells again.
Wait, can you Time Snap into Time Freeze as well? That's pretty sick.
On the Warrior, you can choose between the Warbringer or the Titan. The Warbringer channels the might of his ancestors to gain tremendous power. Using Answered Call, you can summon ancestral spirits.
Trigger ancestral spirits when you summon a totem.
Linked to each of your totems. With Jade Heritage, you can encase your body in a protective layer that absorbs all damage until it breaks.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow, that's really good. Chad, that's amazing. Wait. So I can actually play both Jade Heritage plus Active Block versus bosses. I have 2 ways to avoid abilities for 100% damage reduction. Actively. Blocking and Heritaging with Jade. That's nuts.
Warcaller's Bellow allows you to explode the corpses of your enemies. And with Great Wolf's Howl, you can ignore the cooldowns of your war cry.
So this is really good. Only problem is I have to pick the other one before it in order to get to it.
Let all that anger out. The Titan class is all about hitting big. With Earthbreaker, every slam is a chance to create an aftershock.
Okay. I don't like, again, I don't like percent chance. Because unless you can get to 100%, which I doubt you can, if you're going for really one-hit builds, it misses too often.
With crushing impacts, every hit becomes a crushing blow,
really
which will allow you to stun your enemies with ease. With surprising strength, you can take advantage of stunned enemies to deal 40% more damage.
More damage is insane.
As a ranger, you might choose to be a Deadeye, an expert markswoman who can take down foes with style. With endless munitions, every attack gains an extra projectile.
Okay.
With Gathering Winds, she gains a small increase to movement speed with every attack. But be careful, she loses them when getting hit.
Is evasion still in the game? Like, is dodge or evasion in it? I've not seen it like defensive mechanisms. So I'm guessing you just go for a full evasion build.
With Eagle Eyes, she will never miss, allowing you to stop wasting all those passive points on accuracy.
Okay.
Alternatively, you could become a Pathfinder, the master of flasks and poison. She can choose from one of several throwable concoctions, allowing her to spend her flask charges to throw explosive bottles that deal various types of damage. A bleeding concoction will make your enemies bleed, while a fulminating one can shock your enemies, allowing you to do extra damage. Contagious Contamination allows her to spread poisons between her foes, while Overwhelming Toxicity doubles the number of stacks they can be infected by.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think the poison playstyle looks that fun. I think poison actually looks better in Diablo 4 for some reason. When I played D4 with Poison Trap, it actually felt more like you feel dropping the trap, crash, crash, you know, and like this doesn't look that fun. It doesn't feel like it has much impact for some reason. I think they went a little bit too much realism and not enough like badassness.
Running Assault allows her to move much more quickly while firing, while Relentless Pursuit makes her totally immune to being slowed by enemies.
Okay.
The Witch can ascend into the Infernalist or the Blood Mage.
Evasion is in the game, but all monsters' attacks are the same. There are no more spell attack for monster attacks, so Suppress is gone. Suppress is gone? Wait. I could have sworn I saw, like, lose 50% of armor, take less damage from spells, or something like that. There's no way damage reduction is the same for spells and physical. That was Mercenary Ascendancy. AoE will not be blockable, evaded. Interesting.
As an Infernalist, she can summon a loyal Hellhound companion. The Hellhound sets enemies on fire, as well as taking a percentage of the damage if the Infernalist gets hit.
So 20% of damage from hits is taken from your Hellhound's life before you. That's pretty big. 20% damage immunity, like that's good.
With Pyromantic Pact, you can turn your mana into
Mana's replace at fire. You gain it when you spend mana. Take maximum life and energy shield as fire damage when internal reaches maximum. Lose all of it on reaching maximum. Wait, what? Wait. You take maximum life and energy shield as fire damage when it reaches maximum, and you lose it on reaching maximum. So just you take one hit of damage, basically.
Infernal Flame. As you cast more spells, the flame builds up, and if it overflows, you'll take damage.
Got it.
Using Bringer of Flame, you'll want to make sure you keep the flames topped up. While your Infernal Flame is above 30%, all damage from you and your minions will ignite enemies. She can also transform into a literal demon.
It sounds like a lot of min-maxing with like your spells. I'm not a fan.
While in demon form, she takes an increasing amount of damage, but her cast speed and damage increase rapidly as well.
Yeah, this is not for me.
So if you're planning on transforming into a demon, make sure you stack a lot of life recovery. She can also become a Blood Mage, a master of life and energy. All Blood Mages must pay the price of making skills cost life as well as mana.
That's usually not a big deal to make skills cost life because you can get high recovery, you can get life drain, there's a lot of ways to like combat that problem. That's not that bad.
But in exchange, every monster they kill will drop life remnants, which allow them to quickly gain back that life.
Or that.
With Crimson Power, she can gain large amounts of extra life, and with Vitality Siphon, she can use her spells to leech life. She can gain
energy shield from equipped body armor as extra maximum life. That seems really strong. That seems really, really strong for HP.
Large amounts of extra life, and with Vitality Siphon,
50% of spell damage leech. Okay, so it solves it basically.
And she can use her spells to leech life back as well. Once you've got a significant amount of life, You can use Gore Spike to make your critical hits deal incredible amounts of damage.
Holy what? 1% increased critical damage bonus per 20? Wait, so if you have like 10,000 life, if 10,000 life, that's 500% increased critical damage. It's not the same as crit multiplier. It's less effective than the formula.
A monk who is in tune with the elements might become an invoker. With elemental expression, the invoker will create waves
Trigger elemental expression on melee critical hit.
of elemental power each time he does a critical strike. With faith as a choice, you gain the ability to meditate, allowing you to double your energy shield.
Wait, you double your energy shield meditating? What?
To meditate,
So he has 800.
allowing you to double your energy shield.
Oh, but it's not permanent. So it can't regen up to this number. You meditate, you just gotta keep meditating. That's really annoying, isn't it? Unless you're playing a high evasion build, that seems really annoying to play. Like, it could be strong. Like, if you do it all the time, it has no cooldown. How long was the cast time there?
Create waves of elemental power each time he does a critical strike. With faith as a choice, you gain the ability to meditate, allowing you to double your energy.
That was about 3 seconds. So 3 seconds, you get to double your EHP, basically. If you go for... And you would be going energy shield build. You would not be going for a life build in this. Yeah, you get like... You just double your EHP for a few hits, right? But again, it's not going to regen to this number. You got to keep meditating to keep it topped up. It sounds like it could be very strong, but the problem is it's also kind of annoying to play.
Shield.
3 seconds of doing nothing? I don't know.
Choose between I am the Blizzard or I am the Thunder.
I am the Blizzard. 10% damage extra cold. On freezing, create chilled ground. Okay.
To specialize in cold or lightning. And I Shall Rage will allow you to turn into an unbound avatar.
Okay.
Each time you apply a status ailment to an enemy, you gain Unbound Fury. When you have enough, transform into an avatar to deal way more damage and inflict even more elemental ailments.
Alright.
Some monks choose to reach into the darkness instead. The Acolyte of Chayula can exchange their mastery of spirit for darkness.
Remove all spirit. Base maximum darkness is 100. For each life or energy shield lost to damage. For each life or energy shield lost to damage, reserve 1 darkness instead, if possible. Darkness reservation lasts for 10 seconds, plus 5 to maximum darkness per level. So this is basically a 100 HP bar. Basically. You have 100 HP extra. That gets taken off before you start losing life energy shield.
Resource that can be utilized to both absorb and deal damage. The Shroud of Darkness will protect you from all damage incoming, but if you take Grasp of the
Gain 1% of damage as extra chaos damage per 20 unreserved darkness. So if you have 100 darkness, that's 5% of damage as extra chaos. So it's a 5% damage multiplier. Okay. So I guess you got to stack a lot of darkness, right?
Void, you will deal extra chaos damage from all the darkness you have. Their Dark Pact offers greatly increased resistances to...
Wow, now that's a really good node. 10% maximum chaos res and your chaos res is doubled. That literally solves all of your gearing needs for chaos res. But it is a big investment to get it. At level 100, you get 600 darkness. So if it's per 20 darkness, we're talking about 30% extra damage whenever you're at full HP and not taking any damage. So you would need a build that doesn't take damage, so like an evasion build, to have the uptime at all times.
Chaos damage, and can allow their mana leech to not only happen instantly, but apply to their energy shield as well. Another node you can take is Waking Dream, which allows you to see into the...
Wait. Alright, chat, hear me out. For each life or energy shield lost to damage, what if you play Mind Over Matter? You'll have permanent uptime on darkness, right? If you're playing Mind Over Matter. Because it doesn't say or mana. So Mind Over Matter here means you have permanent uptime on the massive damage bonus you get from Embrace the Darkness. You entirely bypass the entire problem you have. That could be really strong. I wonder if that's intended. You don't have spirit either. mana to use skills. True. True, I guess.
Another node you can take is Waking Dream, which allows you to see into the domain of the Breach Demon.
It's not 2 ascendancy nodes for 30% damage. It's 2 ascendancy nodes for 30% more damage. And, like, that's not the only thing you gain, right? So, whatever, and...
That can be utilized to both absorb and deal damage.
Maybe you're right.
The Shroud of Darkness will protect you from all damage incoming.
Maybe
But if you
right.
take Grasp of the Void...
Yeah. It is 2 ascendancy nodes for 30% more damage. That's true. That's a good point. Is it worth it? Because 30% more damage is broken, but it is 2 nodes.
You will deal extra chaos damage from all the darkness
Yeah,
you
I don't
have.
know. Thanks for
Their
the follow
Dark
there, by the way.
Pact
Ahoy.
offers greatly increased resistances to chaos damage and can allow their mana leech to not only happen instantly, but apply to their energy shield as well.
But this goes so well with Mind Over Matter as well, doesn't it? Hear me out. Mana Leech is instant. That goes so well with Mind Over Matter. Like, insanely
To not
well.
only happen instantly, but apply to their energy.
You cannot recharge Energy Shield. Mana Leech also recovers. Wait, you double dip. You can double dip your Leech to both mana and Energy Shield. What if you put on Eldritch Battery here? This
energy
sounds
shield
really
as
cool.
well. Another node you can take
What
is
pack am I buying? I
Waking
don't know
Dream,
yet.
which allows you to see into the domain of the Breach Demons. There you will see the Flames of Chayula that can be taken to gain life, mana, and damage. The Mercenary has a job to do, but which job suits you? You might choose to become a Witch
Show
Hunter.
me.
Obsessive Rituals will give you a sorcery ward, allowing you to defend yourself against elemental hits in exchange for less defense against attacks.
So you see, there are elemental hits and physical hits. What do you mean? Less armor and evasion rating, but you have elemental defense, sorcery ward. You're constant and is consistently good. Thanks for being entertained. Hey, my pleasure, man. Thanks, dude. Not spell and attack. Wait, so it's the same thing, just different names?
With Zealous Inquisition, your enemies have a 10% chance to explode on death. The chance is doubled against demons and undead.
Wait, no? Alright, doesn't matter.
With Judge, Jury, and Executioner, your initial hit against enemies can deal up to 30% of their life and damage, if you're lucky.
That's interesting. So this is basically a 30% damage increase versus bosses. That's really strong. Like 30% more damage versus bosses, that's significant. Is it worth one node entirely? It's up to 30. Yeah, it's up to 30. You have to discount whatever your first hit hits for, right? So if you hit for like 1% of the boss's HP is 29. If you hit for 5%, it's 25, but still. Wait, what do you mean it's up to 30%? Wait, the thing doesn't hit necessarily 30?
With Judge, Jury, and Executioner, your initial hit against enemies can deal up to 30% of their life and damage, if you're lucky.
Oh, it's like 10 to 30, doesn't explain it? Oh, then it's a lot worse.
This is great for hunting powerful bosses. And with Witchbane, you can break your enemy's concentration, preventing them from casting spells as often as they would usually do.
Enemies have maximum concentration equal to 40% of their maximum life. Break enemy concentration on hit equal to 100% of damage dealt. Interesting. I don't like, though, defensive mechanisms that rely on you hitting the enemy beforehand. So, for example, even things such as Fortify in Path of Exile 1, you have to hit enemies to maintain it. And very often, what can happen is if you haven't hit enemies for a few seconds and your Fortify is down, you can get one-shot by enemies that are coming at you, like off-screen or random damages you take. So, having to hit enemies to weaken them first is a little bit dangerous, because eventually you'll get hit by something that hasn't been weakened yet. Initial hit does up to 30%. Well, what does it mean up to? What's the lower end? Worm, Jar, and Vigilant Strike? Sure. But then you have one less Jar.
Also choose to become a Gemling Legionnaire, enhancing your abilities by embedding gems directly in your flesh. Integrated Efficiency will give you extra skill slots.
3 additional skill slots. How good is that? Do we like 3 additional skill slots? Because you already have a lot of skill slots. Like, this is like a piano build. You just want to use a lot of spells. Is that broken or not? Like, what skills would you really want? Because very often I find myself not needing more skills in Path of Exile 1. Universally, one of the most complained about things in PoE 1 as far as I know.
Thermatological Infusion gives you extra maximum resistances as you socket more and more support gems.
Max res per 3 blue support gems socketed anywhere. 3 red, 3 green. So I guess you would always take the +3 slots because that's a lot more max resists. But again, that seems... You think this is OP? So how many support gems do you have? Is it really OP though? Okay, how many skills can you have in Path of Exile 2? What is the max amount of skills you can have? Let's say it's 12. Okay, so if it's 12 skills, and that's 60 support gems, that's per 3. So you have +20 max res divided by 3. It's like +6 fire, cold, and lightning res. So you go from 75 to 81 with this. So +3. So you're seeing 15 times 5 is 75. Divided by 3 is 25. So we're talking about 25 divided by 3 is 8. So it's +8 max res. And that's, yeah. So if you go from 75, 75, 75 to 83, 83, 83. I mean, interesting, I guess. You're not capping out on max res, but that plus something might help you get the max res. Yeah, maybe.
Adaptive capability allows you to use any color of gem without worrying about attributes.
That's huge. Bro, that's just quality of life, dude.
While Crystalline Potential adds extra quality bonuses to every gem socketed into your character.
12 quality for all skill gems. I mean, overall, that's strong. Because usually that equates to what? Like 6% more damage, usually? In Path of Exile 1? Because I think most 20 quality gems get like 20% more damage. The 12 would be like... Actually, wait, that would be... No, that would be more. That would be 12% more damage. That's not bad. That's pretty good. 12% more damage. It's pretty good.
So those are the Ascendancy classes.
6%? Was I right the first time? Oh, 20 qual is 10 more. Yeah,
This is for the start of early access. But one thing we haven't talked about yet is how you ascend in the first place. Ascension in Path of Exile 2 requires completion of one of the Great Trials, which you'll find as you progress through the campaign.
Okay.
Each one is associated with one of the major cultures of Rayclast. Located in the Vasteri Plains are the Maraketh, a culture of rich tales and brutal traditions, who must do whatever it takes to survive in the desert. The highest position in Maraketh culture is a Sekima, and it is not a title given freely. All aspirants must complete the Trial of the Sekimas, a grueling gauntlet that will test their strength, will, cunning, and patience. To enter, a warrior of the Maraketh must prove their worth by trapping the soul of a djinn in a coin, and you are no different. Once you have earned your coin, it may be placed in the relic.
Go back here.
Trapping the soul and patience. To enter, a warrior of the Maraketh must prove their worth by trapping the soul of a djinn in a coin, and you are no different.
So I gotta trap the soul of a djinn in a coin. Alright. However that works.
Once you have earned your coin, it may be placed in the relic.
What does the coin say? Quest item. Okay, it's a quest item.
Once you have earned your coin.
Doesn't say anything. Take this to the Trial of the Sekimas, right-click to listen.
It may be placed in the relic altar to begin the trial. In the Trial of the Sekimas, each room has its own challenges to overcome. In this room, each rare monster you kill will send its blood to the chalice in the center of the room. Once the chalice is filled, you will be able to proceed. While fighting monsters in the trial, you will need to be very careful. Each hit will not only hurt you, but will damage your honor. The monsters are well telegraphed, so that you can avoid their attacks, but if you run out of honor, you will fail the trial.
This is Sanctum. Yeah, like you're saying. I really dislike Sanctum. Mainly because I like to play melee range builds, and it's just annoying. I'm not a fan of this. Oh, god damn it. I always hated Ascendancy Trials. I don't like doing the Labyrinth. I'm not going to like doing this. You love it?
You need to find another coin in order to try again.
Oh god.
It is a good idea to make sure that you are well prepared before challenging the Trial of the Sekimas. After each room, you will be rewarded. In this case, you have been given a key that can be used to unlock chests later.
They have alternatives? Thank god.
In the trial. Once you have claimed your reward, you will be shown a map of the rest of the floor and may choose how you wish to proceed.
This is Sanctum, basically, yeah.
Which challenges would you like to face? and which rewards do you want to claim. Some rooms are more dangerous, afflicting you with debuffs that will persist for the entire trial. For example, entering this room will
Awards the large sacred water at fountain, afflicts you with spiked shell on entry.
afflict you with spiked shell that will cause all monsters in the rest of the trial to have 50% increased life. You will want to take care if you choose such a path. There are many different challenges and rewards as you journey through the trial.
Okay.
Deadly traps, waves of monsters, and strange artifacts will test your honor. As you progress, you'll be able to gain boons from the Jinn, which will help you on your journey. For example, the Sekima's cloak will revive you once if you die, giving you a second shot at a run. One of the rewards you may find is
Wait, what?
giving
Upon reaching 0 life, revive once with full honor. Does that work on hardcore? That has to work on hardcore because it says revive.
you a second shot at a run. One of the rewards you may find is sacred water, an extremely valuable and treasured resource to the Jinn and the Maraketh. Trading it with the Jinn will allow you to receive many benefits. You can recover honor, gain additional boons, or remove afflictions.
Okay. Nice.
At the end of the floor, you'll find a powerful boss which will truly test your limitations. In order to ascend, you will need to defeat him.
You think I'm in chat? Do you think I'm insane for going hardcore in early access? Is that a bad idea? I think it's gonna be fun, man. I think we just go balls to the wall. Screw it. Hardcore. If we die, we die. Dev said good players will die 5 times to each boss. Yeah, but like I'm not a good player. I'm a great player. Even Zizaran isn't going hardcore. Listen, just because Zizaran is too afraid to play hardcore doesn't mean I'm afraid to play hardcore, chat. Even the HC regulars are going softcore. Well, good thing I'm not an HC regular. Wait, I take that back. I am an HC regular. Anyway.
Having defeated the boss, you've earned the right to ascend. But first,
I just don't understand what's the rush. Like, everybody wants to rush to endgame and learn the game as fast as possible. Why? What's the rush? Hardcore is about, like, challenging yourself and being afraid of losing and dying. Why would I want my first ever experience in Path of Exile 2 to be me just blasting through the game, not giving a crap about whether I live or die, just throw my face at... Why do I want that to be my first experience? I want my first experience to be, holy crap, you know? Looking left and right, being afraid of everything. You know, first time fighting this boss, will I survive? If I die early, I just go again. If I'm having fun, I'm having fun. Softcore right now is a good balance of semi-hardcore. There is nothing to challenge if you don't know what bosses do. It's literally a gamble. I can look at bosses. I'm not saying I'm going to do it blind entirely. But yeah.
first, the loot. The keys you have found may be used to open the various treasures in the vault at the end of the floor. We only have a single bronze key, so we'll just have to open one of these small chests. If you want to open the better ones, you'll need silver or gold keys. Let's use the Altar of Ascendancy. Your first ascension will allow you to pick your class and grant you 2 points to use in the tree. Now there are more floors and many more rewards that can be found within the Trial of the Sekimas, but we'll save that for the section on the endgame. For now, let's talk about the second...
The hardcore fanboys want their first experience of the game, which you can never repeat, to be on softcore. Why? Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I'm kind of weird. I played Path of Exile 1 hardcore when it first came out, and I probably died like 40 to 50 characters before I ever made it to Merciless difficulty in campaign, right? Because that was, yeah. So I just kept throwing myself at hardcore, and like, well, I died, it is what it is. We go again, and I get a little bit better. Now, of course, you get better at the game faster playing softcore because you get to try everything once all the way through, and then nothing surprises you. But it's not about getting better faster. It's about having fun, right? You should play the way you find most fun. If you find it to be more fun to play softcore, play softcore. I just find it to be more fun playing hardcore. I like the massive adrenaline I get when I see my HP drop to 10%.
Ascendancy Trial, the Trial of Chaos. In Path of Exile 2, you can choose whichever trial you like to earn your ascension. Each culture on Rayclast had their own methods to ascend.
I see.
If the Trial of the Sekimas is not your kind of playstyle,
It's not.
Or you're finding it too difficult, you could try another. You can gain all your Ascension points from just one, or mix and match them. It's up to you.
That's so good.
For early access, we will have 2 trials as options, with a 3rd trial coming later for the full release. While exploring the Vaal jungle, you'll discover the Temple of Chaos.
It's Ultimatum. I did a lot of Ultimatum on, but that was on a cast on stun build, which is immune to Ultimatum. So.
Before the Vaal embraced the science of corruption, their civilization worshipped chaos. This ancient trial was once used by the Vaal to test their high priests. A high priest of the Vaal must show willingness.
Bro, what do you mean didn't like Ultimatum? Ultimatum is amazing. I literally have a build that's immune to it. I just click and I watch YouTube. And my guy just farms divine orbs. How can you not love Ultimatum? I'm playing hardcore with a 0% chance to die, watching YouTube on the side, clicking go next, not caring what I click on. The version of Ultimatum seems a lot better in a small circle. I love this. The smaller the better, because I just exploit everything. It was great. Do the graphics look better than D4? I think so.
Willingness to risk everything
They're
to gain
different.
power.
They're more gritty.
Entry to the trial requires a token from a strange entity known only as the Trial Master. For those in which he sees potential, he shall inscribe an ultimatum. Many have attempted these trials in search of greatness. Most have perished. Will you be able to defy the odds? Before you begin each chamber...
I never played the TFT-like league, but I would probably do that one, if that's the 3rd one, being you can't die in that. From what I recall, that league, if you played hardcore, you couldn't die in it. So if there's no risk of death, then that's the one you go for in hardcore every time. I'll just have to learn how to play it.
The Trial Master will offer you a reward and a choice. Choose one of 3 tribulations to affect you through the rest of the trial.
Monsters cannot be slowed or stunned.
These modifiers might beef up the monsters.
A ring of chaos appears on the ground, which grows over time, detonating once they reach maximum area. Wait, that's new. I haven't seen that one. Rings of chaos appear on the ground. They just grow and then they detonate, right?
Curse the player, or add environmental hazards like turrets.
Shocking turrets. Turrets that will periodically fire lightning projectiles ahead.
Or trap runes. In this case, we'll be picking shocking turrets.
That's how it looks.
As you enter the room, the Trial Master will fill it with hazards to test your commitment. In this case, you must destroy all the monsters that fill the room, while dealing with the lightning projectiles from the shocking turrets.
Where's the turrets? Oh, I see. That's a turret. That's not a big deal at all. It just shoots forward projectiles. You can just dodge those. You don't have to get hit by them. That's super easy. And they're pretty slow. Yo, that's not bad at all.
After each room, you will need to make a choice. Take the rewards you have earned so far, or go double or nothing. Increase your rewards, but take on more risk. Each tribulation you add is minor on its own, but they quickly stack on top of each other and can become overwhelming. There are many types of chambers in the trial. Each will test your resolve in different ways. This one simply requires you survive for a certain amount of time. Another requires you to escort the stone idol through the level as elevators full of monsters descend to attack you. Should you be able to get through the first 3 chambers, you will face your first boss.
Dude, that looks so badass.
The order of the bosses is random, and combined with the tribulations you have selected, the fight will never feel the same.
I gotta say, it looks risky playing that in melee though, like being up close to that bird.
After defeating the boss, you may claim your rewards. Of course there are the items, but you also gain the right to ascend. If you already did the Trial of the Secondments, then you can claim 2 more points to add to your Ascendancy class. Now it's possible to go much deeper. There are more bosses, rewards, and risks to take, but we'll talk more about that when we get to Endgame.
Sure.
So how about we talk about that now? So far, we've only been showing you footage from the campaign.
Bro, chat. Up till now, that's only the tutorial. Everything we just saw is the tutorial to the game. We haven't even started Endgame. Oh my goodness. And this is early access. All right, chat, tutorial over. We're done learning the basics. And that's only the first 3 acts.
But some people would argue that the endgame is where the game truly begins. Something that happens almost every time a new action RPG launches is people saying, there isn't enough endgame content. Well, we want to make sure that in PoE 2, people don't feel that way. And we actually only changed our development priority for this recently. The first 3 acts of PoE 2 already take around 25 hours to complete if you're a new player. This is already a pretty significant campaign. On the other hand, people spend hundreds of hours in endgame each league.
True.
We realized that finishing the rest of the campaign for early access was actually a bad idea. Instead of having acts 4 to 6 in early access, we could concentrate on endgame and make that great. For new players, a 25-hour campaign is already a huge game with lots of content. But for existing action RPG players, what you mostly care about is all the endgame challenges to overcome. So several months ago, we switched the entire development team's focus over to making endgame content. At the start of early access, there will be 50 bosses and around 400 monster types. But the great thing is that the rest of the game is like 80% there. We'll be adding content to roughly double the size of the game during early access and into release. Now, in order to make the endgame happen at the same character level as what it would be after we added the rest of the acts, we've added a second difficulty level called Cruel, where you repeat the campaign with all the monsters and bosses leveled up. And of course, new rewards. You can kind of think of it as like a new game plus. It's also a lot faster to get through the content the second time as your clear speed increases. That will take you to around level 65, where the endgame begins. Once we add the remaining 3 acts, we'll be removing Cruel difficulty, so you'll progress straight from the end of Act 6 to endgame. But what is the endgame? To explain that, I'll hand over to Mark.
Also, I did this in PoE 1, I'm going to do it in PoE 2. PoE 1, PoE 2, I'm going to read all the lore and I'm going to read what characters say. Because I think that's really fun, just to have an idea of what's happening in the world. I don't want to blast through it. Like, when PoE 2 launches, I don't want to just like, zoom through. I'm going to read, take my time. Because you only get one chance to have a first impression in this game. You only get to really savor and enjoy it for the first time, once. So
he can tell you all about it.
Time.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Well, one thing that Path of Exile is not...
I don't know, I like this guy. You can tell he's reading a teleprompter. He's like, just let me do my job, bro. Why I gotta speak? I feel like they forced this guy to speak on the video. It's like, hey, you gotta talk a little bit.
Known for is having a lot of distinct in-game content to choose between. Each in-game mechanic needs to have its own progression system, areas, bosses, rewards, and player power that can only be gained from that content. We are going to be adding a lot...
You know what I think was cool in PoE 1 as well? Every single class you play has different lore. I mean, different conversations, different back and forth with like the big characters. I love the Marauder one the most, but they were all different. They throw us new players as a bone. That's one of the main reasons why I never got into PoE. The learning curve is so big. I didn't have any friends that played it who could teach me. Well, I mean, this is all fresh stuff. Of course, some PoE 1 content carries over, but the game is brand new in a lot of ways. So you'll be starting kind of ignorant like everyone else.
Lot more over time, but for Path of Exile 2, we decided to start with 7 distinct systems you can progress through.
Okay.
This is the Atlas, and it serves as the core of the endgame for Path of Exile 2. It's infinite and expands in all directions.
Wait, it's infinite? Huh? Okay.
Now, we are not going to spoil the plot too much here, but corruption from the beast has blighted the land, and your objective is to help fight it. In the center of the Atlas, you will find the Ziggurat, a temple in which the Vaal research the fundamentals of space and time. Here, we can open portals to nearby locations and begin cleansing corruption and finding resources.
Okay.
In order to power the portal device, we will need waystones. Each waystone has a tier which will determine the level of the monsters that you will face. To go to an area, simply click one that is adjacent to an area that you have already completed. Insert the waystone and click
Waystone tier 1.
Traverse. Portals will open, allowing you and your party to travel to the area you have selected.
Okay.
All the areas in the endgame feel distinct from the locations in the campaign. And
yo, is this Monk? That looks amazing. Wait, what spell did he use?
We have dialed the randomization up to 11. The monster...
That's Flicker Strike, yeah. I never played a Flicker Strike build.
The packs you will face in each map are totally random, and the combination of them can lead to some very interesting combat situations. There are over 400 monster types in early access, and they have a lot of varied and interesting abilities. Depending on
my boy Warrior, dude, he looks really good.
On which combinations you face, you might find some serious challenges. In order to cleanse the corruption from the area, you will need to defeat all the powerful rare and unique enemies in it. Once you have done that, the area will be marked as completed and you will be able to travel past it to progress deeper into the world. If you die, then the map can no longer be run, and you will have to find another way around to get to the areas behind it.
Oh wait, what if you die in all the encasing areas? You just brick your account, it's like go again? Huh?
There are also all kinds of other random encounters you might run into as you play maps. One such encounter are precursor artifacts. These are ancient, corrupting monuments that irradiate the monsters around them. The monsters that feed off the corruption are drawn to their power. If you defeat the monsters and cleanse the artifact, you will get a powerful temporary buff. Some of the buffs make you faster, others rain lightning or fire around you, and some even give you increased experience or help you find better items. You can also find strong boxes. These enigmatic chests guard piles of treasure, but are always a trap. Monsters lie in wait to attack you the moment you open it, and the boxes often have mechanisms to unleash powerful spells or dangerous debuffs.
Wait, do they start unidentified as usual? You know, I've not seen a single... Have I seen identification scrolls, or is everything identified? Period. I don't think I've seen identification scrolls this entire video. They had them early on.
There are different types of strong boxes containing different items, and you can even use your currency items to craft them on the fly, so you can optimize the contents.
Bro, that was too slow. I'm gonna be honest. They need to open boxes faster. That was like 5-6 seconds of waiting time.
But be careful of opening one you can't handle.
Wait, what? Are they locked in? Wait, what? You can't walk away from them now?
Sometimes you'll discover...
That seems like a step backwards from Path of Exile 1. Harder, you like it? I don't know if I like it, man. I'm not a fan. It's claustrophobic.
Discover monsters frozen in essences. Solidified crystalline corruption. These dangerous monsters can be broken...
True. Yeah, locked in with detonate dead. Genius. It wasn't a modifier in the box. That's what I was looking at when I paused it. Yeah, locked in into detonate dead. Wow. What do you do now? What if you kill stuff around it?
Free. If you defeat them, the essence they drop can be used to upgrade normal items to magic items with a guaranteed mod from a category. For example, we could use this
upgrade a normal item to magic with 1 speed modifier. Wow.
One on some boots to ensure a movement speed mod.
Yeah.
Rarely, essences will also drop that allow you to upgrade magics to rares, adding the guaranteed mod.
Wait, that's new, right? We never had that on essences. Essences were before spamming, not really upgrading. It's rare to rare.
This is incredibly powerful, since
yeah, because you start off with movement speed already. You can just...
It allows you to get a second determined...
Okay, so that was an augmentation.
Incredibly powerful, since it allows you to get a second...
A magic item to a rare item with 1 life modifier. That's so busted. That is so strong, because you can alt spam into essence. That's insane! Yo, essences are busted this... Well, I was going to say this league, but in this game. Alt spam, yeah, you just keep spamming alteration orbs until you find what you want on a magic item. Wait, no more alts in the game, brother? Wait, what? Wait, there's no more alts in the game? Huh? There's no more re-rolling? Oh, wait, you have scoring orbs, right? Scoring? Only a null? Oh my god! Wait, that changes everything. So you only get 1 chance to build an item, basically. That's crazy. Crafting bench is gone as it is in PO. Wow. Dude, that changes so much. Everything's going to be different. Oh, Chaos removes stuff. Okay. But is it random what it removes? Okay, okay, okay. Oh wait, isn't that an annul orb? What's the difference between chaos and annuls? Alright.
Deterministic mod in your crafting projects. Combining these with the currencies that are commonly found in Rayclast for modifying items, and we can get a very nice pair of boots indeed.
Okay.
Waystones, like all items, can also be crafted using your currency items. Adding prefix mods will improve the rewards, while suffix mods increase danger.
Why would you want to increase danger? For waystone drop chance?
The more dangerous a map is, the more waystones will drop. Adding mods to your waystones is key to progressing to higher tiers
320% waystone drop chance.
and sustaining them, but it will require you to take on larger challenges. There are a variety of factors you'll have to consider when crafting your waystones. Some maps will have higher density, some lower, some have more magic and rare chests, or monsters, some are more linear, and others more open. Make sure you explore and think about what makes certain maps good if you want to maximize your returns. As you cleanse corruption from higher and higher tiers of the
Atlas passive skill point, okay.
Atlas, you will gain points that you can spend in the Atlas tree. This tree allows...
Alright chat, you thought one passive tree was enough? No, it's not! We have ourselves a second tree. Enjoy! Well, to be fair, this is a pretty small tree. Yep, learning your skill tree is not enough. You got more trees to learn, chat. I should open a university, you know, for Path of Exile 2.
Allows you to juice the danger and rewards of all areas in the endgame. You could increase the number of monsters, the number of rares, the number of precursor artifacts or strongboxes, even the quantity of item drops. As you explore the endgame world map, you'll notice various different biomes, from snow-capped mountains to dense jungle valleys. Most maps are restricted to certain biomes. As you continue to explore deeper into the Atlas, there are all sorts of things to discover. These cities are constructed by different peoples of Rayclast, and have specific items that can be found there. These strange structures marked on the map don't appear to do anything for now. Perhaps you'll work out how to use them later. You might find unique maps like Untainted Paradise, an undisturbed island full of beasts that give an extreme amount of experience. You may even find a lonely man just enjoying his retirement who will give
Oh, this is the guy who gives you, like, random headhunters.
you a unique item for free. In addition, you can find special areas that would make a good spot to set up camp. Clear these areas of their hostile inhabitants, and you'll be able to claim them as your own hideout. You can decorate your hideout as you see fit, and invite various NPCs to join you there to create your own personal base of operations.
Okay.
A great tool for exploration are towers. These mysterious precursor constructs are dotted around the Atlas. Completing the tower will reveal a large area around it, allowing you to scout out your next challenge. There are lots of things to find, so keep looking.
Okay, sure.
Some sections of your Atlas are influenced by corruption. This adds extra modifiers to the maps in the region, increasing difficulty and rewards. Here, slaying monsters in close proximity to each other will cause the vestiges of corruption within them to merge together.
Is that like Beyond, where like if things die close to each other, they summon from the Beyond? Basically same thing. You're so damn hyped. I already paid for early access. Can't wait to have no life. See, for me, I already have no life, so. Only thing I'm going to have is something to add to that no life. Have I bought the 480 pack? I'm considering it because in Brazil it costs 220 instead of 480.
Forming powerful and grotesque abominations. You may have noticed while looking at the Atlas that some of the areas have these icons above them. The icon indicates that the area contains some kind of special encounter. This icon indicates that the area has a powerful boss. Because only 1 in 4 maps contain a map boss, we are able to make them very powerful and very rewarding.
Okay. That's really cool. So 1 in 4 maps has a boss, but they're very risky to do. But you can tell what boss is going to be there from the icon, I'm guessing, so you know what you're prepared for.
These bosses come from the campaign, but have had their difficulty increased with changes to AI and some of their abilities. It's worth noting that because you can see where the bosses are, you can choose to take them on or avoid them. If you do choose to hunt bosses though, then
areas with map bosses contain additional shrine.
You will be rewarded with special points for the boss hunting section of the Atlas skill tree. The points here will allow you to specialize in boss killing, giving you much greater rewards for defeating them.
So yeah, you can do mapping with no bossing or mapping with bossing. That's pretty cool. Have a good stream, thank you. Why do I have no life? What do you mean? I wake up at 1:30 a.m., I stream all the way to 6 a.m., then I continue playing video games until like 11 a.m., then I go to the gym for 2 hours until like 1 p.m., I come back home, I eat food, I watch Netflix, I go to bed, and I repeat. The only time I step out of the house is to work out, and that's it. That's all I got, chat. You guys are my only social experience other than gym. That's it. So I'm basically like the average gamer who doesn't work, but I make money because I stream and I'm in decent shape. Sounds pretty good. Yeah, I'm happy. What are the points you get for early access used for? Just in the store, you can buy whatever you can normally buy. You're basically a cleaner version of Asmongold. Something like that, yeah. Yeah. Well, I also lift weights, but yeah. Oh, you know, Asmon never struck me as a dirty guy. He doesn't, his house is dirty as fuck, but like him himself doesn't strike me as a dirty dude. Like, I wouldn't think he smells bad if I met him in real life.
Each different type of content in the end.
He showers once a week. Yeah, but he also doesn't sweat. He doesn't sweat though, chat. He doesn't move. He lives sedentary. He might be a little bit dusty, yeah. But like if you don't sweat, you're not going to really be stinky or anything. He farts and you don't.
Game, we are adding specialized trees in order to make it so you don't feel the need to respec your points when you change between different types of content. We will be showing you 7 of these by the end of this presentation, so there is still a lot more to come. Bosses are not the only icon you will see on the Atlas. Let's take a look at one of the endgame systems, Breach. If you played PoE 1, you might be familiar with Breach. For PoE 2, we have created sequels to several PoE 1 leagues.
His fast food lifestyle seems like it'll catch up to him pretty fast. But he doesn't, like, okay, you gotta realize something. Asmongold, I think, is relatively healthy compared to the average American. I mean, I'm not saying he's a very healthy dude, but he's healthier than most people in the US. The guy is definitely not overweight. He doesn't eat absolutely horribly. And yeah, I mean, I'd say most average Americans are less healthy than he is. It's not a good rule to use. I know it's not. He lost all his teeth to rot because of soda drinking. Yeah, I mean, his teeth are a mess, absolutely. But, I mean, other than that, like, let's not consider his teeth. Other than that, I think he's healthier than the average person in the US.
While the mechanic is familiar, the monsters, bosses, rewards, and progression are all new. A breach is a tear in the fabric of reality. Opening it will allow you to see the demons and otherworldly monstrosities that lie in...
You know what I dislike about Breach? Killing Breach monsters doesn't have that oomph feeling to it. I feel like I'm killing shadows. It's something like... It's just weird. The way they're presented feels like I'm not actually killing anything. And for that reason, I never felt satisfaction killing lots of Breach monsters. It kind of falls flat to me.
Wait on this other plane of existence.
Yeah, something like that.
By engaging with a breach, you'll create a bridge between their world and Rayclast. In order to keep the breach open, you will need to kill the demons that pour forth. Yeah. The faster you can kill the monsters, the more monsters you will fight, and the more loot you will find. You can also find clasped hands that will open and drop more items if you run over them. These can be a good boost to the rewards of the breach, so keep an eye out. One of the rewards that you may find while fighting monsters from Breach are tablets. Tablets are special items that can be used with precursor towers to add more encounters to the Atlas. Breaches will drop Breach tablets. Clicking on a completed tower will allow you to consume the tablet to add more breaches to areas within range of the tower. This makes all the content in the Atlas self-sustaining. Want to do more breaches? Find the tablets, add them to your towers, get more breaches, getting more tablets. Soon your Atlas will be covered in otherworldly domains. In addition, like all items in PoE, you can craft them. Use your
So 6 maps in range contain breaches. Breaches in your maps contain 1 additional clasp hand. Okay.
Currency to add mods to your tablets, allowing
increased rarity.
You to upgrade all the breaches in range. Tablets can have up to 2 mods.
Orbs look a lot better than PoE 1. I love the orb design.
These mods do things like adding extra rare monsters, extra clasped hands, or even monster density of breaches, allowing you to keep them open longer. Often, you will find multiple towers near to each other with overlapping areas of effect. This can allow you to rarely juice the mechanic by stacking the mods from multiple tablets. In your fight to hold the Breach Demons at bay, you may want to use the powers of their world against them. Each endgame mechanic always has player power that can only be gained from that mechanic, and Breach is no different. In Breach, you will find catalysts.
That's quality. Okay, this is just the same as we have in PoE 1.
Items that can increase the quality of rings and amulets by improving specific mobs. You can also find Breach Rings, a special base type that can have its quality improved by catalysts up to 50%.
Oh, wow. It's a pretty decent base type. That's not bad. I mean, so you lose out like flat life, or you lose like flat life or like fire res or whatever, but that's not bad. That's a good base type.
In this case, you could create a ring with around 170 life. Breach rings can become some of the strongest rings in the game, giving you some good motivation to face the demon hordes. In addition, each endgame mechanic needs to have a pinnacle endgame encounter. While killing breach monsters, you may find breach splinters. Collect enough of these and you'll be able to create a breach stone.
Okay.
Using a vile technology called the Realm Gate, you can use your breach stone to access their domain and bring the fight to them.
Why is there 4 slots? Can you buff it?
In this twisted domain, you will find nothing but a single massive breach.
What do I think about the tablets? I feel like it's just bloat. Every mechanic will have this tablet. So tablets you can craft on, and now you have to consider you can't re-roll crafts anymore. There's no like alteration spamming, so maybe you want to look for very specific tablet types. I don't know. It's a good question. It's just scarabs. Yeah, it is basically scarabs. That's a good way to look at it.
Triggering it will reveal hordes of breach inhabitants.
Oh, by the way, I did say I'm going hardcore on start. I'm not going solo self-found hardcore, though. If I drop something really cool, I want to be able to sell it, and I want to be able to trade it, and I want to be able to buy things that I really want for my build. I think solo self-found is something that I want to play on hardcore once I've gotten good enough at the game that I don't find challenge in just surviving. I want an additional challenge, you know? Once I know enough builds where I feel like, oh, that's a great item for this build. But yeah, because I'm going to be starting just normal hardcore, I don't think I need to further limit myself with SSF. You think I'm going to be the only one playing hardcore? I absolutely guarantee you that's not the case. Now, we'll see. But I'm definitely starting hardcore.
And should you be fast enough, you will be able to fight their leader, Zesht. We that are one.
Ziz and his boys are playing hardcore. They've already said they're playing softcore, which shocks me. It shocks me that they're playing softcore. But hey, it's up to them, man. Yeah, they're all playing softcore. So, you know what? Screw it. We go hardcore. We go balls deep, man. No fear. Man, okay, I just want you to understand why. Like, look at this. Imagine facing this on a hardcore character for the first time ever.
We that are one.
Here.
We that dreamed. We in nightmare.
I'm shitting my pants. Bro, I'm looking at this as like, is this the end? Do I have to re-roll? Because there's no portals. There's no logout macro. You gotta kill this guy or it's over. And I've never fought him before. Do you know how intense that is? On the other hand, if I'm playing this softcore, it's like, oh, well, if I die, I'll just go again. I'll fight him again until I beat him. It's such a different vibe. It's so different. And again, I will only ever have a first time fighting this guy once. I want it to be hardcore. You know? Me and like 10 of my friends are going hardcore, and we made a $20 buy-in, winner takes all for whoever makes it to the highest level. That's pretty sick. But are you allowed to reroll that hardcore account? Because the bet might end really early. Think about that one. So what if you all die within the first few hours? Like it's a pretty early bet, and then you reroll softcore after. If you want to incentivize each other to go hardcore, it should be whoever can get the highest level after the first month, right? So if you die, you just roll again. I'd be careful with how you make the bet depending on what you want to incentivize in your friend group. If you guys really want to go balls deep on hardcore, it should be highest level at the end of the first month. Because again, whoever can get the first highest level in the first character, what if level 5 wins? Because everyone else died at level 4. It's a very empty bet. Like, it didn't go far. It's not going to be fun. Or you can make a bet first to, like, you know, first to hit level 80 on hardcore, or if you want to make it a racy kind of bet, etc. That's so badass. Bro, just seeing that, I'm already shitting myself. This is going to be great. That's awesome. You only get one try per boss doing something. Yeah, but you get to fight him again, right? You just gotta clear the area towards his zone. It's not like you can't fight him ever again on your character. Yeah, you lose to the boss, you refarm to the spot where he's at, you fight him again. That's insane. Bro, that's crazy.
This is just one of the Pinnacle encounters of PoE 2. We won't be showing the rest of them, so you will have to discover them for yourself. But rest assured, this is some of the hardest content we have ever made. All of these encounters have specific uniques that can only be found from them, but that's not all. We still have the progression system. Defeating Zesht will give you points to allocate into the breach section of the Atlas tree.
Okay.
Allocating these points will make breaches and the breach domain even harder.
+1 to Twisted Domain difficulty, okay?
But will give you more rewards. The small nodes will increase the difficulty of the Twisted Domain, while the
Clasp hands have 20% chance to be guarded by a pack of magic monsters. Have more clasped hands.
Large nodes have more specific bonuses.
Okay.
For example, this node adds more clasped hands to your breaches, and adds a pack of magic monsters that can guard them. Get some more points and you can allocate Waking Nightmare, which will double the number of splinters you get from clasped hands, and inflict you with a mysterious debuff. In order to earn more points, you will need to defeat Zesht at a higher difficulty, and some rewards from Zesht can only be found by increasing the difficulty of the Twisted Domain above certain thresholds. Defeating Zesht at difficulty 4 will be a challenge indeed, but there are many...
Bro, that hurt my soul. Because I'm not going to have these options. Oh, man. I got like a foreshadowing here. I didn't even see that coming. I was watching the whole thing. I didn't see that coming. Came out of nowhere.
Twisted Domain above certain thresholds.
Because there's just a little shadow.
Defeating
Look at it. I didn't expect it.
Zesht at difficulty 4 will be a challenge indeed.
Oh, no.
But there are many more threats in Raid Class.
That's crazy. Is PoE down now? I don't think so. I'm just watching this video though. I have no idea if it's down or not. This is my first watch through Hardic. Also, welcome to the stream.
Ritual altars are sacrificial sites built by the mysterious King in the Mists. If you encounter this symbol on the Atlas, then you know that the area contains ritual altars.
I love ritual. Type 1 if you are a ritual enjoyer in Path of Exile. Oh, there's just something about it, man. You just know you're going to get a reward after all of the shrines. You just open and you just look and you just hope and you pray something good is in there. I have made so much currency off of ritual. You don't have to min-max clear speed or maps or... No, just do the rituals and you're good. Only problem is you have to have good chaos res to do it in hardcore. And the problem with that is it's hard to have chaos res when you first start mapping, so it takes a little bit of time. Especially like with how they buffed chaos damage recently in PoE 1.
Ritual altars demand tribute. Every monster you slaughter in the circle will feed the altar.
Better now.
After the sacrifice, touch it to begin the ritual. The monsters you just killed will be resurrected by the King of the Mist's dark magic, and you must fight to survive. The tribute you have offered to the altar can be spent to buy powerful items, but they can be expensive.
Same as PoE 1 so far.
Gain more tribute, you will want to find more altars. Each successive ritual you do within an area will spawn the monsters revived by the previous ones, in addition to the ones you sacrifice next to it. By the end of an area, you will be fighting a truly imposing number of foes, but will have a significant amount of tribute to spend. One of the rewards you can buy with tribute are Omen.
While this item is actively in inventory, your next Exalted Orb will add only... Oh. Ooh. Now, this is kind of important because you guys told me they removed the crafting bench. So without a crafting bench, this actually makes a lot of sense. You will need those because of that. Because, like, very often you don't... I mean... Then again, like, this one's not that great. So if you're not using a crafting bench, you're going to slam full exalts anyway, so you'll eventually get it. I don't know.
These are special items that...
It's much more efficient, like, if you're using removal of things. Like, let's say you have tier 1 life, tier 1 armor, and you have, like, tier 7 cold res. Like, this one, a null orb would be insane. Like, you want to annul a suffix, but not a prefix.
That allow for metacrafting. Crafting items that affect other crafting items.
There are a lot of omens.
Have an item with good prefixes but bad suffixes? This...
Here it is. Yes! That's what... Okay, that's exactly it. That's what you need. That's what you want.
Omen will help you to...
I kind of like the new annulment orb. It actually looks a lot cooler than the previous one in PoE 1.
remove the mod you don't want.
What did he have? He had maximum mana, maximum armor. Okay. You want to remove cold res, probably?
While keeping the ones you do. There are a bunch more of these with different effects, but we will leave them for you to discover. Now, don't forget that Ritual will also drop tablets, which can be used to specialize into getting more rituals. If you want to get to the Pinnacle Boss of Ritual, then you will probably want to use them. They can also be crafted to grant mods, making your rituals more rewarding. The pinnacle encounter of Ritual is the King in the Mists. Feared by the Asmeri people, he is said to have...
Just look at this art style, man. You know how many games have this good of an art direction that's just consistent, high quality everywhere? Like, you're gonna be like killing monsters, not paying attention to it, but just... I just appreciate this a lot in a game. It just really adds to the vibe. It is so good.
Have brought eternal darkness to the Wildwood. We won't show the...
And thank God they don't placate to, like, the general public of, like, oh, but what if it's a little bit too gory and that person doesn't play it? Or, oh, we can't ship to China because, well, we got to hide all the blood or the skeletons. Oh, well, yeah, forget that bullshit. Give me a really cool game. I love this direction. I love this stuff.
The encounter, but just like Breach, there are a range of unique items you can get for defeating him, and you will gain points in the ritual section of the Atlas tree.
Okay.
Some maps have been touched by insanity.
I love Delirium as well, but I'm usually too scared to play it on hardcore because it hits hard.
A mysterious entity has taken a special interest in you. Step through the looking glass and you will find your nightmares coming to life. When you touch a mirror, the mists of Delirium will spread out across the area, infecting your mind. You must stay within the mist to maintain the nightmare, which is as profitable as it is terrifying.
Do you guys remember when Delirium League first launched? Was there ever a rippier league for hardcore than Delirium when it first came out? Bro, everything was one-shotting people. You... that was... You think Kalandra was way rippier? I barely played Kalandra League, I don't remember. But I remember people were crying about Delirium.
Everything you kill will increase the rewards that drop. However, the deeper into the mist you travel, the stronger the monsters are. Be careful not to overstay your welcome.
Whoever's playing this is very slow at clicking their potion button.
Rare and unique enemies will become vessels for terrifying demons, who will manifest out of them to unleash powerful attacks on you. The mist also offers a strange...
Can be combined with other distilled emotions to instill amulets with notable passives. Okay, so this is taking over... What is the mechanic called? Blight.
Strange crafting material. Distilled emotions. By combining these emotions...
Interesting. With no or waystones with layers of delirium. So you can do both.
Emotions, you are able to instill your amulet with a notable from the passive skill tree. This is like gaining an extra passive point for free.
I'm gonna be honest, I never did Blight, but the few times I did it, like outside of a main league mechanic, I kind of enjoy it. I think there are certain builds that can be very fun for Blight. So for example, I did you guys remember the last Zizaran Gauntlet? The really hard one, I forgot what it was called. The one that just happened, this league. I played that one, I beat the campaign first try, no deaths. I beat that one with Stormburst Totem build. And I think that build would have been insane for Blight. Because you just drop your totems down, you click Blight, and the totems do all the work. You just sit back and relax. Should be a full tower defense. Your character shouldn't be damaged either. I think there's a paladin in this game. Well, so there's no, like... Not really. So PoE is very free to make whatever kind of build you want, right? Now, Ascendancies definitely like have flavor to them, but you can definitely build a Paladin-esque kind of character. There are holy spells, right? Like, you have spells that look very Paladin-ish. So, I mean, you could play like Purifying Flames and blah, 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 and build a character according to what you want it to look like.
Attached to your gear. They are also
Lazy AFK Thorns or Aura type. Well, Righteous Fire is definitely like that. But how viable it'll be in PoE2, we don't know yet.
particularly great because you don't have to traverse the tree to get them, allowing you to get off-class bonuses that would normally be much harder to get. Distilled Emotions can also be used to instill your endgame maps, applying Delirium to them and adding additional difficulty and rewards.
It'll be completely different. So, I understand why they want to do that, and the reason is PoE2 looks like a game where they don't want you to have just AFK playability. They want you to use multiple spells and be kind of like... They want it to be sweaty. They want different spells for different scenarios. You have to think, be on your feet. They don't want you to just blast and just like close your eyes. Yeah, proactive, correct. No more one skill builds. Yeah, basically they're walking away from that. They're trying to make it as different as possible in that aspect. They don't want you using one skill over and over, just spamming, moving forward. So it's a different game, essentially. It's a different like design philosophy. We'll see how it is. I really do like lazy builds in PoE1. When I play PoE1, I like playing Righteous Fire. I like just walking and everything melts. It's a fun playstyle. It's my favorite build in PoE1.
Allowing you to further juice your in-game maps. The tablets you can find from Delirium can be used to further improve it, increase pack size, make the fog dissipate slower, or improve your progress towards the pinnacle encounter of Delirium.
Okay.
Speaking of which, every now and then you will find simulacrum splinters. The mysterious entity will create strange encounters based on warped versions of your own memories. Monsters and simulacrums come in waves that get progressively more difficult. You will receive loot at the end of each wave, and you will have to make the decision to leave now or continue on,
basically
facing up against even tougher foes.
Can you, if you choose to go to the next wave, are you able to leave? Like Portal? Or are you stuck? Because that's so dangerous. Like, I've done Simulacrum before. I've done Simulacrum farming. And occasionally you'll have... Portal is 2-second animation. Because I know you can't portal out of bosses. Because I've been stuck in Simulacrums where I can't kill Kosis because I don't have the DPS to kill him. He can't kill me either, and it's like a stalemate. Whereas like the fight with Kosis, in order to kill him, it would take me like 45 minutes of just attacking him because it's just too tanky.
From the mist. The bosses you will face as you get deeper into a Simulacrum are truly terrifying. If you can complete a Simulacrum, you will gain points for the Delirium section of the Atlas skill tree. Next up, we have Expedition. Occasionally, while clearing corruption, you will encounter these...
I will only play Expedition if they have... What is it called? Big Boom, whatever it's called. What is the Big Boom thing called? I forget now. The one that has one explosion. Something archaeology. Is it extreme archaeology? It's an Atlas tree point. Don't know if they have it. So, extreme archaeology makes Expedition worth it. I don't have to read too much. I just click in the middle. I check if they have resist to my damage type. If not, I blast through.
Kalguran settlers.
I'm thinking currently warrior.
The Kalgurans have discovered ancient burial sites with lost Verisium artifacts, and they want you to help dig them up with explosives. The Kalgurans have marked the locations where the relics can be found. Place explosives as best you can to dig up as many as possible. There is just one problem. Corruption has brought the corpses of their ancestors to life, so you might have to do a little cleanup before you can reclaim the artifacts. You can also find remnants, the destruction of which will further anger the restless dead. Each one you blow up will make the subsequent monsters more powerful, but also more rewarding.
You've never gotten anything cool from it? You've not done it enough. Like, this is so powerful in SSF especially. You can craft such good items with whatever his name is. You can get easy currency. You can get... It's very useful.
Danig, Rog, Tujin, and Gwenin will exchange the artifacts for
like, this is great for getting bases, for example, for crafting. It's great for finding uniques.
Useful items and runic magic. You can also find tablets to increase the number of expeditions and the rewards.
Not just early gearing. You can get, like, BIS pieces of gear, basically, with him. He can give some crazy items.
This one increases the radius of explosives, while this one increases the number of remnants you will find. Eventually, you might discover a logbook. These are special maps full of buried treasure and relics. Essentially, one giant dig site. Here, you can create an extremely long chain of explosives and go through a very high number of remnants. But be careful, many
I take forever to plan out those logbooks.
remnants have mods that can really brick your build, so you will probably want to avoid these ones. If you add too many remnants, you could easily make the encounter harder than you can handle. There are all sorts of interesting things buried under the ground in logbooks. You might find dripping caves and hidden pirate caches, but the most powerful encounter is Olroth, the ancient undead commander of the Knights of the Sun. Defeating powerful
real quick, this dude's HP wasn't moving at all, and it's right at 50%. Is there a life reservation in the game? Because we know there's low life, right?
Harder than you can handle. There are
like, this guy starts off with half HP, and it doesn't move.
All sorts of interesting things buried under the ground in log.
Can you reserve life? Petrified blood, maybe? But petrified blood has a very specific look on top of it, like little veiny arms, right?
Books, you might find dripping caves.
The thing is, it's right at 50%. They have no life leech whatsoever, and they have a full life flask.
And hidden pirate caches. But the most powerful encounter is Olroth, the ancient undead commander of the Knights of the Sun. Defeating him will grant you unique rewards, as well as points to spend in the expedition section of the Atlas.
I wonder if there's a passive in the passive tree that makes your HP go to half or something. Something like petrified in the Atlas. Not the Atlas, in the skill tree.
So those are the in-game systems on the Atlas, but we are not done yet. The trials we talked about earlier have much more content when you get to Endgame 2. Just like the other in-game systems, they also have progression mechanics, unique rewards, and player power that can only be gained from them. As you get higher level coins for the Trial of the Sycamores, you will unlock more floors to explore. Each floor has its own challenging rooms, and a floor boss that you will need to kill. There are 4 floors in total, leading to another Pinnacle Boss at the end of the last floor, which can only be accessed at endgame.
Jesus Christ.
The Trial of the Sycamores is where you'll find jewels, which you can socket into your tree. These are like passives that you can craft with your currency items.
Jewels you can socket into your tree? What?
They can be really powerful as they allow you to stack modifiers that make
small jewel place in... Okay, never mind. These are like, okay, got it.
May not be easily accessible on the tree normally. This jewel gives lightning damage and shock chance, for example.
Yeah.
There are quite a few jewel sockets on the tree, so it's possible to gain a lot of power here.
Okay, so you get jewels in... Okay.
There are also other types of jewels that don't provide any bonuses themselves, but affect other passives surrounding them. This jewel increases the effect of small nodes and radius by 25%. With careful placement in the tree, you could get a significant amount of power from it.
Wow.
There are also unique jewels available with very interesting effects, but you will have to find those for yourself. In order to push further into the trial and uncover the secrets of the Maraketh, you will want to take advantage of its progression system, relics. Relics
I don't like relics and
items that can be placed in the relic altar as you start the trial. They give special bonuses that affect the trial, making it easier and increasing its rewards. Of course, you can craft these with your currency items, making them even stronger. If you can complete the entire trial, overcoming all...
The good thing about PoE is you don't have to do everything. You choose what you like to do and you do it, and then let other people do the other stuff you don't like, and then you can trade items.
4 floors, the final boss will reward you with 1...
No, they're still half HP, chat. There's something to this. They're not full HP. Look, it's the same guy. Same build, I think.
Many unique relics.
Yeah, it's the summoner. They're playing half HP. Might be an Ascension node, yeah.
Relics will be consumed when used on your next run, but can reward you with unique and powerful items.
So that's like basically life reservation in some way or another. Also, let me turn off my webcam for 1 second and show you. I don't see any spirit here. I wonder if something like reserve life instead of spirit. I don't know. Who knows?
For example, this is the Last Flame. If you use it, you will have only 1 honor for the entire trial. So you will need to do a completely hitless run.
I gotta see. What is the benefit it gives you?
The entire trial. With unique... These relics will be... For example...
The Last Flame. Drops Temporalis. Maximum honor is 1. Cannot be used with trials below level 80. This item is destroyed. I don't know what Temporalis is.
This is the Last Flame. If you use it, you will have only 1 honor for the entire trial.
That's crazy.
So you will need to do a completely hitless run. The Trial of Chaos also extends into the endgame. As you gain inscribed ultimatum,
okay.
Items of higher and higher levels, the number of chambers...
Go back. What happened? It says reserved.
As you gain
when he dies. You're right. It does say reserved. So you can reserve life. So there is life reservation. Huh.
Trial. So you will need to do a completely hitless run.
So I was right.
The Trial of Chaos also...
What does that mean? When you have reserved life, it means your life can't regen past the point. So if you have like 3,000 life and 1,500 is reserved, you can only regenerate and go all the way to 1,500 life. The rest of it is reserved for whatever it's reserved for. Some abilities might force you to reserve a certain amount of life in order to have them active. So you can activate an aura, for example, but it reserves 30% of your maximum life.
Extends into the endgame. As you gain inscribed ultimatums of higher and higher levels, the number of chambers that you can go through increases. In true Val style, this allows you to take even more risks for even more rewards. At endgame, you can progress through up to 10 chambers with 3 bosses on a single run. Stacking 10 tribulations on top of each other will make this a significant challenge, but it's worth it. The Trial Master will tempt you with items of the Val Empire, such as Val Orbs. Val Orbs are powerful crafting items that corrupt your gear with random, mysterious outcomes.
Yeah, sure.
Corruption prevents an item from being modified further, so it has to be the last step of your craft. But it's also the most impactful one. For example, if you use one on your body armor, it might add a new powerful enchantment, or it might re-roll
30 max life is whatever.
Up to half of its modifiers.
Wait, it rerolls only up to half of the modifiers? So you never brick an item with rerolls again. That's interesting. It only rerolls half. So you could use it to save an item you've crafted that just went wrong. That could be cool.
Val Orbs also have the ability to add a socket, allowing you to bypass the
That's pretty cool. Although, these sockets don't look really that good. It's like, we've only seen plus 12 to resist, for example. That's kind of meh.
Normal restriction of how many sockets an item
25 max life is really good, though.
Body armor could get up to 3 sockets this way, allowing for a significant number of mods. Val Orbs can even modify uniques. Adding enchantments or sockets to uniques can make them incredibly powerful, but there is a good chance that you will break them as well.
Interesting.
The Trial Master will also occasionally offer you soul cores. Originally formed by Chaos, the Val sought to replicate soul cores through human sacrifice rituals and blood magic to power their civilization.
Okay. So 15th spirit or 10% increased rarity of items found. Interesting.
Soul cores are powerful socketable items, with mods that cannot be obtained from regular runes.
Okay.
Like all endgame content, there is of course a Pinnacle Boss. The final chamber will drop keys to this mysterious door. Some say this is where the Trial Master himself resides. Perhaps you are willing to take the risk to find out.
Yeah, I'm not going to take the risk to find out. I'll not be the first, not on my hardcore account.
Had enough yet?
That's for you guys.
Because there is still just one more thing. The most difficult content in Path of Exile 2. While mapping, you might come across this fortress that has emerged from underground, surrounded by an enormous maze riddled with danger. Is the maze preventing something from getting in, or something getting out? This fortress is of ancient origin, and its construction has similarities to the towers and tablets that you have been using on your journey through the endgame. It is clear from the entrance that there are 3 keys required to enter. Local factions are vying for access to the fortress in order to seize the power they believe will be inside. Each of the faction's leaders have managed to get their hands on one of the keys, so you will need to defeat them. Each faction is led by an Uber-Act boss. You can see one of them inhabiting the city.
Oh my god.
But in order to fight him, you will first need to defeat their 2 lieutenants in the adjacent zones. Be careful. If you fail against either of the lieutenants, or to kill the leader, they will move on, and you will need to find them again. Kill all the Uber bosses and you will gain access to the fortress. We aren't going to spoil it as we can't wait to see you guys attempt it for the first time. But is there a tree you get points in after killing it? Of course there is. This is Path of Exile. There is always another tree.
So these are your challenges for PoE 2. As you can see, this project is crazy huge. Way bigger than even we expected when we started out. But how do you gain access? Well, during early access you'll need—
Bro, there's so much to play! It's crazy. This is early access.
a key to get in. To thank our existing PoE supporters who have spent more than $480, we'll be giving you guys a key for the PC version for free. Anyone else who wants one can get one by purchasing one of the new early access supporter
That's badass, dude. That's a badass armor set.
packs that have just been released to the store. If you just want early access to PoE 2, then you can get a key in the $30 early access pack. The pack also comes with $30 of points to spend in the MTX store.
Nice.
But we also have a variety of other supporter packs filled with exclusive microtransactions, points to spend in the store, and even physical items.
Okay.
The cosmetics can be used right now in PoE 1 and in Path of Exile 2 when early access starts. Most of this footage has been recorded in Path of Exile 1, since that's where you can use them immediately. The Lord of Ogham supporter pack contains a cosmetic armor set befitting of the Count of Ogham himself.
Not sold.
There is also a matching back attachment, which has an alternate variant depicting the influence of corruption. Also in this pack, you can find a portal formed of the rusted armor of the fallen soldiers in the Red Veil of Ogham, and the offspring of a vicious crowbell boss found in the hunting grounds.
That's cute.
This one doesn't look so vicious though.
That's really cute. I like that. Only cool thing there was the little cute minion, right? What else was there? That was it, right?
Matching back attachment,
This is
which
pretty
has an
meh.
alternate variant depicting the influence of corruption.
The portal's okay.
Also in this pack, you can find a portal formed of the rusted armor of the fallen soldiers in the Red Veil of Ogham,
It's okay.
and the offspring of a vicious crowbell boss found in the hunting grounds. This one doesn't look so vicious though. On top of that, you'll receive the Iron Count's Y-Hander to apply to your one-handed or two-handed
Yeah, I would
swords.
never pay cosmetics. I would never pay
For
money for
those
this.
who are wanting to decorate your hideouts with fond memories and tales of Path of Exile's history, you will also get a series of hideout statues. This pack contains the statue of Hillock. For Path of Exile 1's closed beta, each pack contained a true New Zealand icon, the Kiwi. Following this tradition, all packs in the series
it's okay.
will also contain a new themed Kiwi
Not
pet.
worth my money.
The pet will loyally follow you into battle, but run away at the first sign of trouble. Become the ruler of the desert with the King of the Faradin supporter pack. Show your mastery of traversing the sands of the Vasteri Plains. The body armor will allow you to glide along the ground with ancient sand magic. Now each armor set comes with body armor,
That
boots,
glide is really cool, I have to admit. I like the gliding animation as an option if I get tired of running. That's kind of cool.
gloves, and helmet, but the boots are covered in sand. If you'd prefer to show them off, you can turn the gliding off if you want.
Interesting.
The accompanying back attachment equips you with two powerful pillars that can control...
This is just like clutter. It makes me see things less and die more likely to stuff in hardcore.
...or manipulate lightning. They will periodically release their energy in a powerful blast while in town, and hover in a circle around you, arcing lightning between them, forming a barrier of energy.
Not a fan.
Replace the appearance of any bow with the Faradin's Glory skin.
Also not a fan.
Or replace the appearance of a spear with the Tyranny's End spear skin. This spear skin can be applied to staves and war staves in Path of Exile 1. If you want to truly show your worth as a king of the Faradin, then you definitely need your trusty, moving, entire city fortress known as the Dreadnought to travel across the Vasteri Plain.
That's badass. Yo, that's your hideout? That's the hideout?
In Path of Exile, you can decorate your hideout however you like, and it's no exception here. It comes with a variety of...
That's insane. That is insane for a hideout.
...thematic elements to use, or use decorations from elsewhere in the game. Additionally, you will get the Deshret's Blessing level up effect. The King...
Oh, that looks really nice too. That looks really, really clean.
Deshret's Blessing level up effect.
I like that. That's very satisfying. That's a great level up effect.
The King of the Faradin Kiwi pet.
Meh.
And last but not least, a statue depicting the Vaal Oversoul from Path of Exile.
My first time, it took me like, I don't know how many characters it took me to first time get to the Vaal Oversoul guy, but I was terrified of getting hit. People were telling me, oh, if he hits you one time, you're dead. I'm like, wait, what? My first ever time fighting this boss, I was terrified.
Exile 1. For those who don't know how supporter packs work, each pack comes with all of the cosmetics from the previous tier, so you'll get all the items from the Lord of Ogham supporter pack as well.
Back in 3X, yeah.
The Thaumaturge of the Vaal supporter pack features an armor set and back attachment themed around the Vaal and their pursuit of science and progress. You can find the Soul Core weapon effect in this pack, which causes thaumaturgic energy harnessed from sacrifice to spill from your weapon. This pack also contains Doryani's Idol. It replaces the default appearance of any foci to an ancient relic once used by Doryani, and this can be applied to shields in Path of Exile 1. That's not the only Vaal weapon you'll find. It also contains the Wand of the Thaumaturge skin, and the Royal Sacrifice Dagger skin.
That dagger's badass.
You wouldn't think to put sacrificial gems on a Kiwi, but the Vaal did. Okay. Thaumaturge of the Vaal supporters will receive the Thaumaturge of the Vaal Kiwi pet.
Why not?
And the Statue of Dominus. This is also the first pack in the series with a physical item. When purchasing this pack, you'll receive a Path of Exile 2 logo t-shirt. But if you don't want one, you can opt out in return for additional points to spend in the store. Becoming a...
Ooh, you can opt out and get additional points in the store?
Warlord of the Karui supporter will grant you an armor set and back attachment, adorned in jade carvings and iridescent feathers resembling power.
That's really cool.
Enough to even impress the ancestral gods, specifically Tukohama, the Karui god of war.
You now have to pay for shipment so they can change it.
Overkill, you say? I think the Karui people would disagree. Why not drop a gigantic totem on rare enemies you slay to crush them to a...
That's very interesting. I kind of like that.
A pulp. Replace your crafting bench in your hideout with the Ancestral Canoe crafting bench.
You guys said there was no crafting bench, chat. What do you mean? You literally said no crafting bench. What is this? Have I been lied to? Bench only for basic stuff?
Where Ancestral Chief Mata will summon a giant canoe manned by Karui warriors to aid in your crafting desires.
Oh, no meta crafting. This is for PoE 1? Wait, what? This isn't for PoE 2? Which makes it pretty worthless in PoE 2. Both. Applies to both.
We must all start somewhere.
You'll also get a pair of weapon skins. Equip Akoya's Felling Axe skin to your one-hand or two-handed axes, or Tukohama's Crusher to your one-handed or two-handed maces.
The mace
a true Karui warlord is always accompanied by their trusty Kiwi. Equipped with armor and harnessing ancestral magic, they make the perfect sidekick. Once one of the most feared beings in Rayclast, Malachi was slain by a powerful exile. May the statue commemorate the virtue of exiles past, present, and of the future. Of course, it's not all about dressing up in game. You'll want to look good in real life too. By becoming a Warlord of the Kurui supporter, you'll also get a Path of Exile 2 hoodie.
Okay.
Our final tier of supporter pack in this series is the Liberator of Rayclass supporter pack. The Liberator of Rayclass armor set and back attachment come made with the finest materials in Rayclass, and shattered glass mosaics suspended in divine power.
This looks like trash to me. I'd never want to play that. That's just not it for me, man. I don't know. I'm not sold at all.
Set up your base of operations in the Beacon of Salvation hideout. Why restrict yourself to just one island when you can liberate more? The Beacon of Salvation hideout comes equipped with your own collection of small islands and personal operators of boats that you can use to row between them. Just walk to the piers, click a boat to enter, and navigate as you choose. Decorate each island as you see fit to best represent your well-earned hideout. Everyone in your hideout can use their own boat. Why not have some races? You can also get the Window to Twilight portal effect.
That is sick. Like, that hideout, I don't think is that cool looking at all. It just looks tedious. Like, I want to go to my I don't know, my bench. Oh, the bench is in the other island. Get in the boat, drive. That seems slow as hell. You guys agree with that? Like, that seems really boring. It's just inefficient as well. I think the moving, they should have put the boat one as the cheaper one and then put the moving one as the most expensive one. The one where you fly across the land, like on the desert, is sick. But this is nice.
A beautiful mosaic piece of art that shatters and reveals a gateway to your desired destination as you approach it. As you walk away, the glass magically reforms back to its original form. Rule in style with the Throne of the Ruler map device. Sure, this map device...
Oh my god! Alright, that's really, really cool. That's the map device?
Can create portals to in-game maps, but it also comes with a throne you can sit on to oversee your growing kingdom. Look down on the plebeians running your maps. Being the Liberator, though, is not just about sitting on your throne all day. If you do decide to join the fight yourself, you can leave a High Priest in charge as your second in command. Liberator of Rayclass supporters will also get a set of varied weapon skins. The Light of Divinity Scepter skin, the Deliverance crossbow skin, the Justice Flail skin, and the Redemption shield skin.
That shield is really nice. That's a really good looking shield.
Once again, you'll have an accompanying Kiwi, and of course a statue depicting one of the most iconic events in Rayclass's history. The battle between a powerful Exile and Kitava, the Insatiable. With the help of two deities, Sin and Innocence, the Exile was able to defeat him once and for all. This supporter pack also contains the Path of Exile 2 art book. This 215-page full-color art book includes a huge amount of amazing concept art and lore produced during the long and exciting journey of Path of Exile 2's development.
Interesting.
And finally, Path of Exile has a tradition of letting the community participate in designing game features. For Path of Exile 2, we'll be adding the Twilight Order foil reliquary. By becoming a Liberator of Rayclass supporter, once Path of Exile 2 is released, you will be able to select any unique item you have found and be able to drop it from the reliquary. Once players have submitted their items, keys to the reliquary will start dropping. And other players will be able to find foil versions of uniques that you...
Wait, so you find a unique item, you submit it, and once the first unique item is submitted, people will find keys that they can use to find foil versions of it.
You have submitted, along with a message for the lucky player. The more...
Along with a message from the lucky player. What message?
Players submit the same unique, the more chances there will be for the reliquary to drop them, so choose wisely. Now, almost all of these items are available to use in PoE 1 right now. There are a few exceptions where the item class clearly doesn't exist, such as crossbows or flails.
Wait, so would that mean if somebody found a Mage Blood, they submitted it to the reliquary, and no one ever submitted another reliquary item, every person with a reliquary key would get a Mage Blood? Is that a thing? Could people band together to ruin Path of Exile 2? Could everyone own a Mage Blood now?
And there are also a few microtransactions on weapon types that are unavailable in PoE 2 at the start of
Wait though, but if the only one you can get is Mage Blood, if nobody else put another one in, then you would get the key for, and it would be Mage Blood every time.
early access. Once classes that use those weapon types are added, those microtransactions will be available to use.
Oh, the key would be Wade. Okay.
If you can't decide which supporter pack to choose yet, you can always start with the early access supporter pack that just includes a key and some points to spend in the store. Then you can upgrade to any of the following tiers at a later date. These supporter packs will be available for purchase throughout early access.
Oh, so I can upgrade later. I don't have to buy the expensive one right off the bat.
Really like to thank you for your ongoing support. Without you guys, Path of Exile 2 could not have happened.
Yo, I gotta say, Chad, that's pretty damn awesome. What do you guys think? What do you think of the game? Holy crap. That looks so fun. And I am so excited to play it as a hardcore game.